Skylar Henry is outside the election building.
Federal agents have been inside of this building, which just opened back in 2023, over the course of the day. Far less officials here than earlier today, but now others throughout the county are starting to arrive. That includes the board chairman here, who we just saw walk into the building to essentially assess what's been happening.
The Federal Reserve is holding steady on interest rates, leaving them unchanged for now. Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying of employment,
the outlook for economic activity has clearly improved since the last meeting, and that should matter for labor demand and for employment over time.
Senators are on Capitol Hill trying to avoid another government shutdown. The deadline to pass the spending bill is Friday, and CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns reports.
Democrats are now united around the fact that they won't support funding for the Department of Homeland Security unless it includes serious reforms to immigration enforcement. There have been proposals for things like requiring body cameras for ICE agents, requiring them to not wear masks, requiring governors and mayors and local officials to have more say and buy-in when it comes to ICE raids.
At least 41 deaths are blamed on the massive winter storm. Thousands in the south still don't have power, and now Mississippi officials are sending 135 snowplows to clear ice and snow that has caused huge traffic jams on I-55 and 22 in northern Mississippi. CBS's Stacey Lynn on the challenge for some college students in Virginia.
School was back open today at JMU in Harrisonburg, but for some who live off campus, it's been a struggle.
The main roads that lead to campus are blocked. I think that's why they expect us to go to school, but no one who lives in any off-campus housing can get out.
She said while the parking lot in her apartment community was plowed,
they plowed in front of a lot of the cars.
They did borrow some shovels to try to dig out, but her roommate says
it's pure ice, so they all broke.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Obesity rates among U.S. adults have doubled since 1990. University of Washington cardiology professor Dr. Gregory Roth says even with better access to the new weight loss drugs,
medications will be, I think, part of the puzzle, but they're not going to be the whole story. Will we see a downtrend in obesity? It doesn't seem likely at this point because we know that even now very few Americans are getting access to these medications.
Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. The Dow is up 13 points. The Dow is down 13 points. NASDAQ is up 71. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thousands of Amazon employees will be handed a pink slip today. Details coming right up. But first, your KIRO Newsradio traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Looking pretty good across the map. The only significant backups are right here in downtown Seattle, and they aren't that bad. South 5, you're a little crowded coming out of Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's about 20 to 25 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. And then North 5, of course, we have that Revive I-5 backup approaching the Ship Canal Bridge. And that isn't bad either, delaying your trip by maybe 5 minutes. It's all clear as soon as you get over the bridge. And looking at our passes, we have a light dusting of fresh powder over Stevens, Snoqualmie, and White passes. No restrictions over Snoqualmie, but Stevens and White have traction tires advised, and oversized vehicles are prohibited. And over in Eastern Washington, Blewett Pass remains dry with no restrictions. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Amazon is cutting 16,000 roles starting today. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke with employees who fear more layoffs are coming.
Outside the Amazon spheres in downtown Seattle, one employee told me the fear and anxiety inside the company are real.
No job is safe. So even let's say you become a mathematician, scientist. I mean, I work in AI. I'm not safe.
Amazon has cut nearly 30,000 jobs since October. In a mass email to employees, the company said the moves are meant to reduce bureaucracy and that it does not anticipate further layoffs. The workers I spoke with tell me they no longer feel safe.
AI is going to impact everybody. You can't do anything about it.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
An horrific scene in the town of Vaughan on the Key Peninsula as a man returns home to find everyone dead. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Pierce County deputies were called to the home in Vaughan just before 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. The man returned home from work and found his wife, adult son, and the family dog shot to death in a bedroom. Investigators say the son was struggling with mental health and addiction issues, and although unconfirmed, murder-suicide is suspected. Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
We are not looking for any suspects. Everybody is contained to this scene. The husband has been very cooperative.
And Deputy Capetto says a handgun was found near the bodies. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, pay your tabs or else. That's the idea behind a bill being proposed in the state legislature, which would penalize drivers for not renewing their registration.
We think that there are millions of dollars out there that are not being collected, which is not fair to everyone else that pays these car tabs.
KIRO 7 TV reports the minimum fines could go up to $242 if you're stopped with a registration that's been expired more than 2 months. Parked and unoccupied cars could be ticketed as well. Well, a local meteorologist is concerned about our snowpack. Scott Sistek of the Emerald City weather blog tells Seattle Morning News in some spots a snowpack is only 35 to 40% of normal.
I mean, we can still get snow in the mountains up until March and April, so I'm still hopeful there's a cold pattern in there. The cold pattern is out there. It's just, as you've seen, it's shoved off to the east.
But if that cold makes it out west, we could see more snow. And speaking of snow, let's check out your KIRO News Radio weather forecast. A mix of scattered showers with shots of sunshine this afternoon, high around 51. Tomorrow, that rain gets heavy at times, and then the rain will slowly taper off as we head into the weekend, with weekend highs in the mid-50s. We're at 46 and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Jake Skorheim here, Spike O'Neill sitting right there.
Happy Wednesday, my friend.
Happy Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, right?
It is a happy Wednesday.
I always think about it after I say it, which is how I do this show constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Ready,
right.
speak, think. Boom.
That makes a lot of sense.
It really does. Puts a bow on it, doesn't it?
We have so much stuff to get to. We don't have any time to do it, so let's just jump right into it. But before we jump right into it, you caught a little video right before the show started. You and I walked down to grab some food before the show started because we get hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. And then on the way back,
there was something in the air, and it wasn't the fresh baked bread that I just picked up.
Delicious.
Something in the air. Something, what is it, chemically? I'm thinking I'm getting a whiff of radial tire.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, no. Cut foil. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. This little butane. There's a whiff of butane. It felt like a streetwise sommelier, I felt like.
So what was it?
I looked over and I captured a little video, and we created this ourselves, so I know we have. I didn't get permission from the
vagrant
the street artist, I'll say. Paperclip Pete, I'm dubbing him. This is Paperclip
right out
Pete.
in front of our building.
This is the
If you're watching on the live stream,
on the YouTube,
this is what a good chunk. This is what a fair chunk of Seattle looks like. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then people doing drugs.
You can see infrastructure being done, work being done as we speak. There's still traffic safety cones and barricades as they do this new project up the East Lake Avenue corridor.
Oh, I thought they were just blocking the road off
for him. No, he comes with his own safety crew. No, he does not.
Do you know what was so disappointing? I mean, there's a lot of disappointing things.
Yeah, where do we
this.
start? We only got a 3-hour show.
So I was, we walked by and we did all this stuff. You took the video.
Yeah.
I didn't even. I'm at the point now where you just kind of pass by.
Yeah.
And you just go, all right, well, there's another one of these guys. And well, when I got in the building, our front desk guy, good kid, his name is Isaiah.
Yeah.
I guess not kid. He's a man.
He's a grown man. Yeah, he's a grown man.
He's a legal man. But
That's
he's
a
good
real
guy.
beard.
He's a kid to me because I'm old.
Sure.
He's a nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
got a future.
But he was giving ladies in the building that were heading out the heads up, like, oh hey, just a heads up. And he called, we called 911. We let Seattle police know
exactly.
But you want to make sure that people know.
Yeah,
they might encounter somebody out there.
It's on us right now to make sure that the visitors and employees in this building are safe from this street use. And when I spotted this gentleman, this human, this neighbor, this fellow citizen of Seattle.
Why are you being so nice about it?
Because he's got an addiction issue.
He also flipped us off.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But you're getting ahead of yours. No, my first thought was, give Isaiah a heads up. I said, hey, should we call 911?
Mm-hmm.
There's someone exposing our crew to secondhand fentanyl smoke.
Should have given that fresh baked bread you just purchased.
I don't know if.
Guess he was not such a neighbor, huh?
Maybe I'm not such a neighbor. Maybe I'm not such a citizen here. It's very reflective, my moment right now. No, but my first thought was, okay, what do I do now? Do I bother to call 911? Is there a direct line? Can we get the Care Bears? Can we call the Care Bears directly? Nice. Do we rub like a shamrock or a rainbow icon on our desk and the Care Bears zoom on down? Because I think that may be what this guy needs more so than law enforcement.
Who's that coming from somewhere up in the sky?
Fentanyl.
It's Paperclip Pete.
Well,
it's heartbreaking.
We did knock on the window because we didn't want to discourage him from doing his drugs. We said, hey, move along, pal. Move along.
He had his bicycle, his backpack,
friendly
his
neighbor.
wares, his groceries.
Up at us and he just flashed us the bird.
Flipped us. He's told us, no, we're number one.
He has moved along.
He has.
But it's just something you got to deal with when you are downtown.
And that's the thing. Is like you said, you become, I'm not blind to it, but it's so frequent.
It's a self-protective thing.
Maybe.
I'm not blind to it. I see it and I avoid it.
Okay.
Like I saw this guy earlier on my way in. He was sleeping across the street.
Oh, okay.
He had spread out his
earthly belongings,
collections.
Yeah,
and
his estate.
So I stepped across the street. There was a girl out walking her dog. She did the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of like, all right, keep a little distance. You know what's going to happen.
Well, it's unfortunate, and but like in Katie Wilson, Seattle. Does it get any action from local authorities?
Probably not.
If I call?
No, probably not.
Is it on us as a property owner, employees of this business?
I think we did our due diligence in knocking on the window and shooing him along. And it makes us some heroes.
And I didn't give him bread because much like a bear in a national park, when you feed them, they come back.
Listen, and then he's just going to come back.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of somebody who has come back, I'm very excited he's back. Luke Ducey.
Smooth.
I don't know how I feel about being on the
KIRO
other end of that.
Radio's very own Luke Ducey.
He's back again.
Luke, welcome back to the show. You have a lot of stuff you're going to tell us about. Before we get to that, we do have to play this.
I am going to drop a deuce on everybody.
A little too close to the street.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have played that.
I thought about it.
Luke, this is a big local story here. Amazon has made this big announcement. 16,000? Is that how many people?
16,000 rolls today have been cut, in addition to 14,000 rolls back in October. So here we are just 3 months later, we're close to 30,000 rolls. And I want to be clear, because I saw some TV stations earlier this morning saying, 16,000 people laid off. That's not accurate. I used to be in PR, as you know, and so I used to for a tech company. So, when they every word that they write in these notices and these emails, these blogs in this case on their website on Amazon, every word counts. The PR strategy here is to avoid being able to say the actual numbers publicly. So you say we cut the rolls, and then we ask how many rolls, or 16,000, how many layoffs. We don't disclose that information.
So when you say cut the rolls, does that mean that there could be some sideways movement? So maybe somebody's job goes away here, but they're not unemployed.
Or roles that were never filled. That they were hiring for, and then they cut those roles, et cetera. So
I know the first thing that they do when they make these announcements is they try to find lateral movement within the company for a bulk of these employees. Right, they try to find elsewhere occupations within the Amazon family.
Yeah,
so they don't fall into
for Amazon, for these any employee that is laid off today or in the next week or so. Yeah, they give them 90 days to make a lateral move and get onto another team, and then after that. Or to leave the company altogether.
Do we know how many people? It's because last time they had this, I think it was just October, 14,000. Only like 2,400 were actually local here, and a lot of it was, in the corporate end. So do you know where these people are being let go from?
Yeah, we talked with Todd Bishop at GeekWire earlier this morning, and Todd is he's plugged in pretty well here, and he thinks it's about the same number again this time around, about 2,000-ish. Roles here in Seattle in the corporate headquarters. And all of these roles today are going to be corporate cuts. They're not going to be to facilities like the storage facilities in those areas, like the one we have down in Kent, the big warehouse.
Sure.
None of those jobs.
Fulfillment centers.
Jobs.
No, losing those to robots, but not layoffs. But you keep saying roles, and when you made that distinction between employees and roles, that is such an inhumane way to deal with this. Because when you hear the word roles, you don't think about how many families are impacted by this. Plus, it confuses me because I'm thinking I saw the Amazon Fresh locations going down. The Amazon Goes.
Oh yeah, we should talk
about
these
that. Kaiser rolls? Are these what are these? Bruschetta? What kind of rolls? You know how many rolls? That doesn't include those rolls.
I doubt they have many Kaiser rolls employed in Amazon.
I'm talking about. I'm making it.
And the reason for that, you're right. And for the reason for that, I think from a company's perspective, is that because we're talking about, in this case, Cutting bureaucracy is what Amazon said they want to do in their blog post and their mass emails that went out to employees as well today. And also, which means they're manager heavy. They need to cut that level. And so when they say roles, what they're really able to say is cutting roles that are not in the direction or strategic direction of the company. So we will create new roles. And in this case, for instance, they are saying, in fact, they are going to be hiring more people. It's just in another capacity, in another strategic direction.
Okay.
In this case, when we can talk about what's not on that list is obviously Amazon Go and Amazon Fresh. Those stores are cut. What would be on that list is perhaps things like AI.
Sure.
Data centers on the AWS
the evolution
side.
of technological evolve their company.
Another thing that might be off the list is Todd Bishop told me, that, or told us, I should say, one of our producers, that biometrics, they got rid of all the biometric stuff on campus, meaning like you can open a door or get entry with the palm of your hand on campus in some areas if you sign up for that.
Sweet.
And so they got rid of that.
High tech.
So perhaps that means that their biometric strategy is done too, and those jobs might be cut. You can just kind of infer from getting rid of that technology.
What does that mean? It's fully evolved or finished
that
out?
means they're not going to use it anymore.
Well, they're not going to use biometrics anymore.
Well, I guess in that capacity.
Okay, so if I'm at Climate Pledge or Lumen Field, and I go to the Amazon store that just looks at my face and reads my thing, are those biometric stores going away, or do they just lay off the people who developed that now that it's in place?
It could be a little bit of both. Wow. I mean, the store's gone too, right? I mean,
well,
if they're
the
not
Amazon
invest...
Fresh store we'll talk about in just a second, but the ones at the fields,
those
are like you scan your card.
Isn't that an Amazon Go? Are they closing down?
I don't think the ones at I haven't seen any reports the ones at the fields are closing down. Where you get the hot dog? You talking about where you get the hot dog?
Yeah, at Amazon, where you just pay and go, show and go.
Yeah. It's very convenient.
We'll see, but it sounds like early reports are they want to get out of that. They're steering the ship toward other businesses.
Yeah.
I mean,
interesting.
Let me say a couple things, and then I really want to get into that strategy conversation just a little bit, which lends itself directly to the Amazon Fresh stores you guys want to talk about. I just went down to the Amazon Spheres in downtown Seattle, and I spoke with workers. Most of whom told me no comment, no thank you, walk right past me. I get it. But those who did speak with me, I could see it in their eyes. I could hear it in their voice. They're nervous, even though the company says, we know that we've had layoffs every 3 months now. There's kind of a pattern here from October to here. We are not going to do that moving forward. But this is what some employees, as they walked by, told me.
I think it really sucks.
Yes, Kerry. No job is safe. So even let's say you become a mathematician, scientist. I mean, I work in AI. I'm not safe.
Yeah, not safe. And that gentleman there said, he's going to start his side hustle to get that going because he's nervous about there could be another strategic decision. But here's the deal. CEO Andy Jassy of Amazon, Bishop was telling us this as well. This is all part of a bigger plan that he's had to cut areas where they are not only manager heavy, but the direction they don't want to go. He's always wanted to run Amazon in a way, and this is what we need to understand their philosophy. And when we see big shifts like this, that it's kind of like they operate the company like they're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what technology sticks. Here's Todd Bishop.
Trying to make Amazon operate, as Andy Jassy says, as the world's largest startup. That's really what they say they're trying to do here.
So as a startup, you try some things, they don't work. You try others, they work.
Can we talk about the Amazon Fresh and Go stores that are closing down? Yeah. Looks like Axios had this story. I'm sure everybody's got this as well. But they're shutting down a bunch of these. They're instead going to be putting their efforts into the Whole Foods brand.
Yes.
What do you think about this, Spike?
We've had this conversation numerous times. How much is enough? I mean, here's the thing with Amazon. I understand Amazon has, as Luke pointed out, we were talking about this pre-show, they're a publicly traded company with a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders to maximize profits. Mm-hmm. I'm not begrudging them that, right? But when you've got a store like Amazon Fresh, which is the one closest to me is the one up on Aurora Avenue, about 130th, up there at one point. It's I'm not sure it was there prior.
Sure.
It's a very affordable grocery store. A very affordable grocery store. You go in there. I've gone in there. That's where you drop off returns. That's how we Amazon shop.
That's how you use it.
When I go there I'm often going there to drop off returns to Amazon.
Yeah.
But while there, if I need something, here's the store. Blah blah blah. Pick it up and go. And the prices
drop
are
off
probably
a box. Pick up a tomato.
Pick up another box. It's easy. I noticed they're getting out of the Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go, but leaving their assets in Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. One of the highest.
Whole Foods is such a massive brand.
Yeah, but it's
also home delivery. They do great home delivery.
Well, my point is this: they're fine being in the grocery world where it's a high profit margin, where it's the highest priced grocer. I don't mean to slam on Whole Foods. It's a great store.
Yeah, PCC is mad at you for saying that.
Okay. So this is a company, Amazon, that gets massive tax relief from our government. And I get it. They're massive employers. I understand. There's a lot of dynamics to this thought process. If you're getting massive tax relief, is it unfair to ask them to, hey, look, how about keeping grocers open in low-income communities?
How about lose money?
I don't know if they're losing. Let's find out. I'm not going to ask them to lose money. I'm not going to assume they are.
I mean, I assume just like Luke was saying a second ago with other parts of their business, biometrics or whatever it is, it's an area where they don't want to go anymore. They've realized
because they can make more money elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business. That's what you do.
Again, I understand that. But you're also a business that receives huge tax relief from this government. That Amazon gets tax relief? These corporations like Meta, like Amazon, Google?
Is Amazon sucking at the taxpayer teat, or are they delivering more than they're taking?
I'd have to see the numbers to get it.
Clearly, they're delivering more than they're taking. So obviously, they're the biggest employer in Washington State.
Okay, so is it fair to assume that's fair? That's fair. I'll give you
totally fair.
I'll give it.
They pay the highest wage of anybody in Washington State on average
until they lay people off. Is it fair to also assume then, if when you look at the dais of the inauguration of President Trump too, right?
Well, who gives about Trump? What are we even talking about? You're talking about local grocery stores. What are you talking about Trump?
When businesses like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, okay, when they have huge deals in front of the federal government that allow them to make massive profits, massive amounts of money, and they need federal oversight or regulation or whatever, okay? If these companies are receiving benefit from the federal government, otherwise, why are they contributing massive amounts of money? I mean, I'm a realist about politics. You don't give money to a politician unless you want something in return. And that's fair for all stripes of political life.
I would bet you could go back and you could look at whatever they gave the Trump administration and find 10x on every other politician in the past.
I don't want to compare apples to oranges. I want to ask if these guys...
just asked about the Trump thing. So I'm in, you know, tit for tat. Yeah. I bet you they contributed to every presidential candidate in the past because that's beneficial to their business.
I don't mean to single out this administration, although this administration does seem to have more corporate, contributions. At the dais of other inaugurations weren't the Fortune 500 chosen few up there, weren't the oligarchy.
Well, we disagree.
No. Let me. I haven't even made my point yet.
Please,
I will.
Please.
If a company like Amazon contributes massively to a administration, to receive political benefit that'll help their stockholders, right?
Then the grocery store should have to stay open.
Then the grocery should you have some responsibility to the city to run a grocer that is maybe a bargain grocer in low income areas? Because that too much to ask of a company that is getting massive political benefits?
It might be a good PR move for them to say like, hey, we're going to operate at a loss and we're going to do this for the benefit.
You're assuming they're operating at a loss. I don't assume they're operating at a loss.
So they're making a ton of money and they're closing it.
Maybe they're making more money.
To be mean?
Maybe they're making more money at Whole Foods and delivery.
I'm sure they're making more money at Whole Foods.
So again, what's enough? If you're getting massive tax breaks from the government because of the contributions you've made, if our taxpayer dollars,
your math is tough for me to figure out, Spike. But let me play this cut because here's a great idea. Solves everybody's problem. This is Sean Scott, Representative Sean Scott in Seattle, asked by Brandy Cruz about Amazon, whether or not they're a net good. I'm going to play this clip and then make a suggestion.
Do you think that Amazon and Microsoft are a net good for our state?
Say more about that. When you say net good, what do you mean?
Do you think they contribute and add more value to our state than they detract?
I think that workers, were they to collectivize, could come up with something like Amazon on their own, but that Amazon has a very difficult time providing the value that you would like to see
whatever that means. Back to his point about the workers.
Sure.
And your point apparently about this. Why don't they all get together and start a grocery store? I know where one's available. They could do it, and I'm sure they could run it, and they might even be able to make a profit off it.
Maybe like starting a militia to take on the Chinese army. I mean, you got a massive monster.
Literally
that is
don't
Amazon.
even know what that means, but we got other stuff we got to get to.
Speaking in analogy.
All right. Went way over my head.
That's okay, buddy.
We got a lot more coming up.
I'll explain it to you during the commercial.
Charlie Harger's going to join. Luke, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Amazon's
front row seat for this circus,
Amazon's
buddy.
latest earnings calls coming next week as well. Right,
Charlie Harger joins us next. They're going to try to push an income tax bill in Washington State. We will talk about it. Stick around.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner.
I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. The federal government could be headed for a partial shutdown over funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Washington Senator Patty Murray says she will not vote for a current spending bill without removing the DHS funding provision.
Even without the DHS bill, ICE will have many times its annual budget because of the bill that the Republicans passed last summer. But splitting off the Homeland bill does ensure that Congress is forced to reckon with this issue. It does give us the opportunity to take much-needed action to protect Americans from this out-of-control department.
A vote is expected later this week. Estimates say about 600,000 people are driving around with expired tabs in our state. That's why the state legislature is considering adding fines that could cost hundreds of dollars. Opponents say it's too much.
There's been a silent protest with people not renewing their tabs for this very reason. Your answer? Propose usurious fees and threats to hammer us peasants into submission.
KIRO 7 TV reports cars stopped with registrations that have been expired more than 2 months could run up a fine of $242. Say a prayer, perform a rosary. We are 11 days away from the Seahawks playing Super Bowl 60. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey asked a Catholic priest.
We asked Father Brian DeLessie, a pastor in Renton, if it's a sin to ask God for a Seahawks win.
Well, I wouldn't call it a sin in the large scheme of sin.
In the end, he says it's up to the big man himself and the players, of course.
If they've trained well, they practice well, and they do the best they can, we'll see where the Holy Spirit goes.
All right, as long as it's in the end zone several times, that's fine.
We'll be hoping so, man.
And if you're wondering, yes, Father Brian is also rooting for the Hawks. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Another big Seattle company is cutting jobs.
I'm Jillian Raftery. Travel company Expedia Group is making another round of cuts, this time hitting its technology staff. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports it could affect 10% of that team. Seattle-based employees shared news of the layoffs on LinkedIn. A spokesperson said the company is reorganizing and reducing layers to speed up decision-making. The company went through 2 rounds of layoffs last year. They have more than 3,000 Seattle-based employees.
Rad Power Bikes, the Seattle company once valued at more than $1 billion, has been sold. Life Electric Vehicles Holdings is buying the business for $13.3 million. It follows Rad Power's bankruptcy filing in December. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, 5 bidders joined the auction for its assets. And now your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. We have scattered rain across the region this afternoon, something we haven't seen in a couple weeks, and that could make for some slippery roads. Overall, though, we're looking really good with no significant delays. If you're traveling through Seattle, South 5, little crowded coming out of Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge, and then more crowding between I-90 and the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle will take you 20 minutes tops. And then North 5, we've got a brief backup approaching 520 across the Ship Canal. Give yourself 6 minutes to make it through this. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. In your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly cloudy today, 51 this afternoon. Heavy rain tomorrow. It's 46 and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're very pleased to bring on Charlie Harger from Seattle's Morning News. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
Charlie, I wish you were here under happier circumstances This is an interesting story. People can read about this over at mynorthwest.com. If you're a person who likes money or likes to keep the money that you have made, this is a story you're not going to like. But tell us about it.
So if you have a pulse,
Yeah.
and if you're drawing breath,
Yes, but tell
this
us
is
about
a
this,
story for
Charlie.
you.
Yeah. So what happened was a trusted source gave to me a copy of the draft going around the state legislature now for the proposed income tax. The lawmakers are strongly considering putting together an income tax that taxes 9.9% on all income a person makes over $1 million. So you make up to $1 million, you don't have to pay anything. If you make $1,200,000, you only pay on that $200,000, 9.9%. So that is a proposal.
They're calling it the millionaire's tax.
The millionaire's
right? Kind of what
tax.
it's known as.
So that is the proposal. This has kind of been operating in darkness now for a while. And what I thought was really important is that we shine a little light on it. I mean, lobbyists have seen this, lawmakers have seen this, but the public hasn't. And the reason I thought that was so important is, remember last year in the legislative session, they pushed $9 billion of taxes through in the final basically 48 hours. Public didn't have a way to weigh in on it. They didn't know what was up for consideration. So I thought it was really important we publish and let people know what is in this bill.
What has been the reaction from lawmakers? Were they happy that you published this? I saw in the story that you reached out to the governor's office, who basically said, no, trying to distance themselves from this.
A bit, yeah. So what was actually remarkable is when you're a reporter, you reach out and you have a sense a lot of times these people are never getting back to me, especially if I'm asking a difficult question. And more times than not, that happens. So I was actually pleasantly surprised yesterday. I got this bill, and so the first thing I did was reach out to the governor's office, but also the Democrats in charge of the House and Senate caucuses. And they all got back to me within 2 hours. And not only that, but the House and Senate Democrats go, yep, that is the actual draft that we are circulating around. Be careful. There might be a lot of edits, a lot of changes. But yes, they in fact confirmed it, which blew me away in a positive way.
This is, to me, that says that they realize like what a hot button issue this is for people. We don't have an income tax in our state.
No, we don't.
It's against the Constitution in our state to have it, and they would have to rewrite some things in order to make that possible. The other thing that I see a lot of is that this is just the way into. It's not going to stop at a millionaire's tax. It's going to be for everybody.
Well, there's nothing in this draft that would prohibit them from lowering it in the future.
Sure. A legislature in the future, let's say 5-10 years from now, could in turn say, you know what, we're really facing this budget shortfall again. Gosh, I'm sorry, it's $750,000.
We hate to do it, but we're going to take more of your money.
Yeah.
Just like they're doing right now.
And Washington, overall, voters since the 1930s, they have rejected income taxes 12 times when it's been up for the ballot. In fact, 2 years ago, the initiative went to the legislature banning income taxes, and the legislature overwhelmingly supported that. And it became law. So what's interesting about this specific law is it carves out this law specifically. Oh, yes, still no income tax in Washington state, except for this one.
Except for income tax in Washington state. What's interesting, though, is they recognize, it's so crazy to me, they recognize how unpopular it is. Like you said, it's been voted down 12 times. Yeah. They got back to you so fast because they did not want to be on the wrong side of the fence in your story as people not disclosing. And they wanted to look like, oh, yeah, absolutely. We're like, this is all in the sunlight. We want everyone to know what we're doing. But the problem with this is they're bad with money. They're really, really bad with money. And this is their attempt to get more of the money to fix a problem that they have, which is they're bad at spending money. They have like record revenues in our state. It's not because they're pulling in too little money. It's because they're spending it so stupidly.
I've made a few commentaries on this. We are spending proportionately like double what we did 10 years ago. Yeah. And it's not because of inflation. It's double what it was with inflation.
Counting for inflation. It's not just that things cost more than they used to. Labor, materials,
which
whatnot.
is true. Which is true.
Yeah, but to Charlie's point,
even on top of
it's
that,
factored in, and it's still twice what it used to be. And yes, they are serving more people, but it doesn't make up for the
double people.
Exactly. Let me ask you this: you said a trusted source got this to you.
Yeah.
I've seen enough West Wing reruns to know that occasionally these leaks are calculated. That you get it out to a well-respected, established member of the media. Is this a test balloon? So that this draft of the legislation, they can take the public temperature on these proposals, get back where are they most outraged? Where should we kind of fine-tune this before final draft?
I would like to say that, but in fact, this source was so concerned that there would be no daylight on this. They felt it was important that I see this in order to get the word out.
They were worried that our government in Washington State was going to cram this through without getting the public input
that was a concern.
That people should have. This is our money. It's not their money. It's our money. It makes me so sick. Doesn't it make you sick, Spike? Doesn't it just want to make you spit? Now, we're inside, so please don't. But doesn't it make you want to spit?
I want to. I'm holding it back. No, aren't there requirements for hearings and public, when they want to raise the height of my fence? They have to get public input on these things that they can just arbitrarily slap a millionaire's tax out there, make all these different caveats on when it can be raised, not raised, when it's a felony to avoid it, blah, 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 without any kind of public input, no hearings, no public.
I think the hope is now that there will be an announcement of some kind in the coming week that the hand has kind of been forced here, that there will be hearings that are held. I spoke with Jerry Cornfield over at the Washington State Standard this morning. His impression is that we could now have this sort of bill introduced in the next week or so, and it will get some public light and input. Can I just bring up one really interesting thing I found out? And that is when we talk about our combined top rate in Washington State for all taxes. So that's when we go all in. Let's say you are somebody who's fortunate enough to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. You're paying over 10% in sales taxes. You're paying X amount in property taxes. You have the capital gains tax that passed last year. Adding this on top of it, by some measures, they think a person in Seattle could be paying up to 58% of their income on taxes every year. Now, again, this is a very wealthy. Us guys are not ever going to have to worry about this.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the big impalers money. I know.
But that's why the public, first off, they're taxing somebody else.
Yeah.
But everybody in America has the dream that someday that'll be me. I'll be there. We all have that dream. We all share the dream of
100%.
That's what makes this country what it is.
I saw a stat that this would make, if this thing passes, this would make somebody in that fortunate position who has worked hard. This would make a person in Seattle the highest taxed in the nation.
That is what some researchers say. Now, of course, this comes from people who are anti-tax. So there could be a million different things that go into that. But on the face of it, that's sure what it looks like.
Well, I always see the numbers, though, where what they actually pay in taxes after deductions. I mean, you see these high corporate tax rates, but by the time you make all the different deductions that they're allowed to, the loopholes of the tax laws, people pay almost nothing in taxes.
Well,
I mean, they're coming in at 58. I wonder what the practical final number that the top earners are actually paying in taxes are.
It's quite high.
Well, at least, gentlemen, here's a great thing. I mean, our parks are clean, our roads run well, our transportation budget is paid for, plenty of police. So all of this tax money really is going for the higher purpose.
Boy, they're knocking it out of the park, aren't they? Good for them. Good for them. We can all trust that they have our best interest in mind, and let's just give them more of our money. That'll solve the problem.
I'm in.
All right, Charlie Harger, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
I hope this thing dies a quick death. What a horrible idea this is. I hate it. Spike, I hate it.
Well, we need sunlight. It's best disinfected.
Yes.
Oh, no, rain in the forecast.
Oh, no. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Does my voice sound pretty good? Better than I thought it would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me like that. Get up, Dad.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. Did you know that 25% of your home's heat loss is right through your attic? Hot air rises, and if your attic isn't properly insulated, that hot air is going to rise right through your ceiling and out your old roof, which is cold and expensive. If your furnace is working overtime, it's time to call Valentine. Right now, Valentine has a great winter special. You can bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you're going to save an additional 10% off your entire project. Just call 206 Roofing, and remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about hockey. Don't you love a sport where it's almost fair game to throw off your gloves and bare knuckle it in that gray area? Hockey brings excitement, intensity, passion, often drinking. It's like a party with a puck. If you enjoy too many shots at the bar while watching slap shots on the ice, don't try to make a breakaway because the police won't just stonewall your goal. They're much more likely to throw you in that penalty box. And it won't be just a few minutes to think about what you did. Go ahead, enjoy cracking one open. Just don't overdo it. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com for your free private consultation. Hockey is one of the only sports where you can wrap around the goal and there's no out of bounds. But the roadway is a different story. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. A quick tease ahead. Just about 15 minutes from now after the top of the hour news break. I've been complaining a lot, Spike. We both have, about this traffic on I-5.
How can you not complain?
This Revive I-5 project has been a real bee in my bonnet. And yes, I should stop wearing bonnets.
No.
Every day
don't compromise your good look. It's a great look for you.
Huge Little House on the Prairie fan. But every day I get stuck in this nasty traffic because they have the express lanes that are only going north. They have not opened them up heading south in the mornings. So we've been asking them, like, hey, what's the deal? We've been posting videos of, my drive-in where there's literally nobody in the express lane. WashDOT has heard our cries, and they're going to come on with us in just a little bit, at the top of the next hour, and we're going to talk with WashDOT about their decision-making process and how they arrived at it, and we have questions for them. If you guys want to ask any questions, you can text us, 888-973-5476. I also put that out to people on X, where I posted this, or Instagram. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to pass these things along. I know we have a lot of questions for WashDOT.
And we're not. We know that we got Tom Pierce coming on, right? Communications. Mm-hmm. We know it's not his call to make, but we've got concerns. Our audience has concerns.
Yeah.
And we'd like to know that we got a guy who can get our concerns directly to the people who can make a decision.
We want them to hear our good ideas.
Yes.
Absolutely. And justify why they're making everybody sit in traffic every single day more than they should. All right. All that being said, let's move on real fast to this. Spike, you saw, was this the story that you found? This Melania documentary?
Well, the Melania documentary. Melania. The documentary is being released on Thursday. There was a screening last weekend, I believe, at the White House. There may have been one at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure. I'm not really keeping up.
Okay.
It's a $40 million project that was paid for the rights to it, paid to the First Lady.
Let me play a little
clip.
clip.
The rights to her story.
This is a little clip from Melania, available all places soon.
January 30th.
Here we go again. Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
Okay, so it's for the rights to, they're going to have this documentary, and then there's also a follow-up series that would be, I think, available on Amazon, if I read that correctly.
Okay. It's a theatrical release on the 30th. I think Brett Ratner is the director. I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
But he's accomplished. Yeah.
Do you have I'm kind of meh on this. I don't really have an issue with it. Do you have an issue with it?
It's not. I'm not their target audience, but I'm sure there is a target audience for this.
Sure.
I've seen a lot of stories that aren't also not their target audience. We're saying pre-sales are horrific.
Sure.
They expect it to be just do nothing at the box office.
Sure.
Which
is actually all of box office.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of to look at it with a fair perspective. Sure. Nothing's doing great at the box.
Plus, they don't want it to do well, which is whatever.
They don't.
It's fine.
Exactly.
That's fine.
It's coming out on Thursday, my thought on this is...
Come on, you got a thought. Give me your thought.
I do have a thought on this.
Hear your thought on it.
We talked about Jeff Bezos a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos, was it $40 million? They're funding this. I think the Amazon has a funding interest in this.
Amazon purchased the documentary. The way these things tend to work out is somebody makes something, and then a lot of times they will acquire the project. Either they'll fund it before it gets made or after the fact. Like a lot of times something will go to a film festival or something.
Right.
Then they buy the rights to it, and then they can put it out on Amazon Prime.
So that's what Amazon spent their $40 million on, was the rights to own this project. Did it go to Melania? Did she get the $40 million? You know how these things work much better than I do.
I saw this. It's unclear how much she got. They think she might have gotten somewhere around $25 to $35 million. Okay. For the rights to this and future projects.
And now Amazon owns the right to put it in theaters and to release a series on Netflix.
Now Amazon
and
can go on and make their money on it.
Okay, and they'll make it on their money. Great.
Yeah. But you don't like it.
I don't care. I don't care about this. And don't get me wrong.
You don't like the money, though, they paid her.
I don't like, there's a lot of, we talked about last time about how many people were at the podium for the inauguration, and they've contributing money to these various campaigns. And like you pointed out very accurately, all politicians take donations with the expectation that they're going to get a little something for their money. That's time immemorial. Is this a way to get buy favor with the Trump administration from Amazon?
Sure, probably a little bit.
Yeah. Well, should we all be okay with that?
They
That's
all do
the thing.
They all do
Doesn't mean we should. I'm not saying they don't. And I'm not bagging on the Trump administration. I'm bagging on the process itself. Should you be able to buy influence over the government?
It is what it is. The Obama signed a book deal for $60 million while he was in office.
Yeah, but did the publishers of that book deal, did they want something from the Obama administration? Did they?
Of course. Why would you give somebody a $60 million book deal?
Because they think they can make $60 million selling that book.
Joe Biden and Mrs. Biden.
Jill.
When he was vice president,
that movie I went to see.
They also signed the book deal. Yeah. He was in office.
I think the book, the Jill Biden movie was From Lap to Luxury. Is that what they called it?
I don't know.
I won't be racing to the theater. And all due respect,
the Obamas have like a reportedly $100 million Netflix production deal.
Nice.
I mean, so Melania, I just don't care that they do this for everybody. I don't get my hackles up when they do it for the Trumps. I don't care when they do it for the Obamas or for the Clintons or for the Bidens. It's just they do it for everybody.
I like that, though. I like that. That's even keeled.
Even keeled.
Yeah, I like that.
If you guys want to invest money in this, good for you. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Seems the state doesn't have any issues declaring an emergency when a truck takes out a bridge, but when it's their fault, that's maybe not an emergency. Small towns on the northwest corner of Mount Rainier are finding this out the hard way with their bridge out of commission. This is Sully. I'll have Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Hey, let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Oh, great idea. But first, we should get a new TV. One of the top-rated brands. Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, I'll start shopping on the internet and then head over to the Warehouse Club.
Well, but if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only?
Yep. We can save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Or we'll be sorry.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The FBI agents in Georgia are executing a search warrant at the Fulton County Election Office. Democratic State Senator Josh McLaurin says agents are taking 2020 election ballots. CBS's Skylar Henry is there.
We have reached out to the Department of Justice. They have declined comment. The FBI has also declined comment as well, waiting to get a few more answers. We also know that there have been rumblings of the FBI perhaps moving into other areas throughout the county to try to find additional ties to the 2020 election.
The Federal Reserve is holding steady on interest rates. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
After 3 cuts last year,
the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says that's because inflation remains above target at 2.8%, leading them to wait for further signs before cutting rates again.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Stocks closed mostly higher on Wall Street. Ecuador's foreign ministry has filed an official complaint after federal immigration agents appeared trying to enter its consulate in Minneapolis.
Video shows a commotion as a consulate staffer barred what appeared to be an ICE agent trying to enter the facility. The staffer says, quote, "You cannot enter here. This is a consulate. This is a foreign government property." On the video, the man dressed in gear worn by ICE agents in Minneapolis says, quote, "Okay, relax, I didn't enter." The Department of Homeland Security says it has no record of ICE or Border Patrol agents being near the consulate. A spokesperson says, quote, "We are continuing to check with other federal agencies." Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Senators are on Capitol Hill trying to avoid another government shutdown by passing a spending bill by Friday. Senate Democrats are threatening to block more funding for the Department of Homeland Security after the Minneapolis shooting deaths of 2 people. Senate Majority Leader John Thune on what Republicans want.
These are all hypotheticals at this point, and I would reserve optionality to consider that. But I think the best path forward, as I've said, is to keep the package intact.
President Trump has officially unveiled his Trump accounts to create savings plans for America's children.
Decades from now, I believe the Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time.
Bruce Springsteen releases a new song called Streets of Minneapolis, criticizing President Trump's immigration enforcement.
We'll remember the names of those who died.
The track was released on social media today. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A code red alert has been issued by Bloodworks Northwest. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Tacoma South 5 Portland Avenue. We've got a stall. It's on your right shoulder. It's kind of crowding that right lane, and it is right at the very end of the on-ramp, causing a bit of an early merge for drivers entering the highway. So we've got a pretty thick backup that starts at the north end of the Puyallup River Bridge. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're crowded from Lake City Way in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, you're still looking good at 15 minutes. North 5, we now have scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. Got a nice clear patch through the downtown core. Give yourself about, I'd say 10 minutes to make it through these backups. South 405 starting to get busy between Factoria and Renton. Bellevue to Renton will take you 15 minutes. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Bloodworks Northwest issues a code red alert for blood donations as the Pacific Northwest supply is not keeping up with demand. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Bloodworks says it has only a 1 to 2 day supply of blood, and a healthy supply is 5 to 7 days. The problem is winter storms moving across much of the country. People there can't get out to donate blood, so Bloodworks is sending blood to places like Texas to help out. Juan Cotto is with Bloodworks Northwest.
We will need several thousand donors over the next week to restore a stable, acceptable blood supply.
Call Bloodworks Northwest or find them online if you'd like to donate. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Lake Forest Park identified a man involved in both a house fire and a nearby burglary early Sunday that we told you about. They say the 40-year-old suspect lived in the Ballinger Way home that caught fire around 1 a.m. After residents evacuated, he reportedly left on foot. Officers later found him shot in the backyard of a nearby home. That homeowner told detectives they fired in self-defense. Fire investigators say the earlier house fire was accidental. The suspect remains hospitalized and in police custody. A man in Vaughan on the Key Peninsula returned home from work yesterday and finds his wife, adult son, and family dog shot to death. Investigators say the adult son was struggling with mental health and addiction issues and was allowed to spend the night Monday, Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
He went to work that morning and didn't feel good about the whole situation. And so he left work early and unfortunately he came home to everybody dead.
A handgun was found next to the bodies. Murder-suicide is suspected. Amazon is cutting 16,000 roles starting today. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke with employees who fear more layoffs are coming.
This employee told me outside the Amazon spheres in Seattle, the message is clear.
No job is safe.
After 14,000 layoffs in October and another 16,000 this month, despite the company saying it does not expect more, he tells me many coworkers fear additional cuts. And they're starting side projects outside Amazon just in case.
Start something small. Don't depend on anybody, I think.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And now your KIRO News Radio weather. Mostly cloudy with occasional showers and a high near 51. Heavy rain at times tomorrow before we start clearing out as we head into the weekend. Our weekend highs will get into the mid to upper 50s. I'm seeing some showers making their way in the downtown right now and 46 in Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 fantastic hours to go. Boy, I'm excited for this segment. You guys, this has been building up inside of me for a few days now. Actually, no, more than a month.
Yeah.
Because we had the previous summer's traffic and the craziness of the traffic.
It's almost like a re-injury of an old wound.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like somebody just keeps picking that scab.
I don't want to say re-traumatization.
Nah, that's too much.
Some people might love sitting an extra 45, 50, hour 10 in traffic.
There are sick
they might love
people
it.
out there, Spike. There's sick people
They listen
out
to books
there.
on tapes. They listen to the show.
Yeah. I prefer they listen to the podcast than a book on tape.
There
But
you
if
go.
the podcasts are all used up, you have my permission to listen to a book on tape. I highly recommend Lord of the Rings. All right. Read by Andy Serkis, by the way, which is phenomenal.
Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Just
Voice
put-
of Gollum, but
Yeah.
he does all the voice. It's unreal.
Just go to the place where Gandalf yells, "You shall not pass," and that'll be your mantra for the southbound I-5 commute for the next
way to bring us
year.
back on track. Thank you
you.
very much. All right, we're very, very pleased. We've been talking about this for a while. We have lots of questions about this, so we reached out to WashDOT, and we said, "Can you guys please come on and help us understand this because we're not understanding this. Explain it to us like we're children." And WashDOT has said, "Yes, we will explain it to you," which is great, and we really appreciate them coming on with us. Tom Pierce from WashDOT joins us, as well as Mike Swires. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Mike, you are the Assistant Regional Administrator for Traffic, is that right?
Correct.
Is that assistant to the regional administrator or assistant? No, I'm just joking. That's an office joke. All right, guys, I got to start off. I got a lot of questions. The thing that we're talking about right now is the Revive I-5 project. and we have the closure of the express lanes. Well, it's not the closure. It's the permanent running in south to north direction that has really confused me because I drive south to north, and the lanes only go, yes, that's right. The lanes only go from south to north, up through Seattle. Is that right? That's what you guys have them lined up right now?
Actually, they are north to south. They're north to south right now. Or excuse me, you're right, south to north. Okay,
See?
you got me messed up.
Tom, now you got me confused.
Welcome to every day of my life,
I was
Tom.
like, have you answered my prayers? All right. First question for you guys. Honest question. Why do you hate us so much?
Buddy.
The hate has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
It's about, we've got this huge project that we've got to get done. We're going to be working on both directions of the Ship Canal Bridge for the next 2 years. We're working northbound this year with the express lanes northbound only. Next year, we're going to be working southbound with the express lanes southbound only. So it's just a volume of work and what we have to do. We're working on, like 3/4 of a mile of the bridge that has to be, we've got to open it up, make sure that the structure is in good shape.
Believe you me, I do not want. I drive that bridge twice a day. I do not want that to fail. I appreciate the work on the bridge. I really do. My issue is, and what I would love to figure out with you guys. The express lanes traditionally, outside of road workage, schedule changes, traditionally that goes from north to south because there's a higher volume of traffic, right? In the mornings, I believe it's open sometime between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Is that about the times? And then they switch over?
That's about it.
About it. And then in the afternoons, those switch to reverse to get that traffic leaving the Seattle area, heading back to points north. Is that right? Generally, outside of traffic?
Generally.
So my question to you guys is, during this time where you have this road work happening, we know that there's a higher volume of traffic happening coming into the city. Can't we open those lanes up just as they do traditionally outside of road work times? Can't we open those lanes up for a couple hours in the morning just to alleviate some of that backup? Because I was in it for 2 hours yesterday. Not everybody drives my commute. I'm up in Snohomish area, so I have a little bit longer drive than most folks. But still, 2 hours yesterday, more than an hour today, and I'm not,
Here's the
there's
thing.
no accidents happening. So is it possible that we can open those lanes up to alleviate some of that?
So our challenge here is dealing with the constraint that we've got on northbound I-5. We've got 2 lanes closed for most of this year northbound, and as Tom said, 2 lanes closed all of next year. So, and that's it for I-5. So if we didn't have a way to maintain throughput and capacity on the roadway system, anytime we had a collision occur, for instance, the northbound I-5, all of northbound would basically be shut down until we're able to clear that crash.
Well, I respect that, and I want there to be safety, but that's also true for any time there's a bad accident on any freeway, right? The freeway, there are guardrails on the freeways. Those are difficult to get in and out of, and so if there is a bad crash, that would be true for times outside of roadwork too. Isn't that right?
Sure, we have collisions happen on roadways all the time. I guess in this case, we have northbound I-5 on the main line down to only 2 lanes. And if we were to reverse the express lanes and run them for any period of time, we would lose that capacity altogether, and northbound I-5 would be down to 0 lanes until the crash is cleared. And this is right north of downtown in our busiest, most heavily traveled section of I-5.
I understand that, but again, we're talking about a time period where they normally don't have access to the express lanes. So if there was a crash in the morning, that's no different than normal. Is that right? They just are down to 2 lanes now instead of the traditional 4 lanes.
I think it's to their perspective here, and I understand is with only 2 lanes, it's a lot more. Is a higher chance that you lose total blockage. It's hard to block all 4 lanes.
It's simple math. I understand what he's saying. What I'm saying is traffic is immensely bad. Without accidents, traffic is unbelievably bad north to south right now. I mean, you guys have to be getting tons of calls on this, or am I the only one complaining?
It's just you.
It's just.
I'm kidding.
Darn it, Tom.
No, we deserve that. That's fair.
No. I'll let Mike discuss that a little bit.
Yeah, we are seeing delays coming out of the north end. It's pretty obvious what drivers are experiencing, and we know it's a challenge for folks that are dealing with that. But we are seeing numbers trending in the right direction. It takes several weeks for an impact like this, a roadway closure and change in operations, to kind of shake out and people to adjust. The times they choose to travel, the routes they can take, and those sorts of things. So over the last 2 weeks, we've seen about a 5 to 10 minute improvement in southbound travel times, and we expect to continue to see changes and improvements as this goes on.
Hey, guys, let me ask you this, because we had our own James Lynch ask, is it Meredith?
Julie Meredith.
Julie Meredith, yeah, thank you. If you guys had considered the idea of maybe having southbound express lanes, say until 7 a.m., and then switching over.
Let me play her cut.
Okay, yeah.
Let me play. This is James talking to you. Is Julie Meredith your boss? Both you guys?
She is the boss. She is the boss of WSDOT. So,
okay.
High enough up the line, yes, she is our boss.
Excellent. All right, this is Julie Meredith with our very own James Lynch.
Why not have those lanes accessible to incoming traffic, at least for a couple of hours?
The lanes will be open in the northbound direction while we have the 2-lane closures. It's not as easy as flipping a switch to switch them, and so we found that it operates better if we maintain a consistent system rather than take them out of service in order to do the flip the switch back and forth. So it's a better system while we have the closures in place.
Hey, guys, I want to ask if that 7 a.m., southbound was at least considered, and you realize that for practical purposes of eliminating all lanes should there be a major accident, you thought about it, and before you give me an answer, could I ask you to put at least 2 car lengths distance between the two of you? Because there's kind of a bleed over between the...
Are you guys in the same room on different phones? Is that possible?
Can you guys hear me?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
We're getting some feedback on your phone line there, Mike, but it's no big deal. Continue.
Did you guys consider southbound until 7 a.m. to let maybe traffic of southbound commuters the option of maybe leaving earlier and then moving the northbound lanes? Was that considered at all?
We considered the whole system together. So it's not just southbound, but it's the impacts that northbound traffic is experiencing with this closure. And any change that we make to that operation starts having a ripple effect, not just on I-5, but other routes like 405 or 99 or the surface streets that the people are potentially using.
Can I ask you guys a little bit about that? I've been posting these videos on my X account, and people can go and watch. There is literally almost 0 cars in the express lane coming out of
Seattle.
Out of Seattle area. I'm getting on, what road am I getting on there, Spike? You know the overpass I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's about from Lake City Way where it comes back in and jumps over 65th, somewhere there. 60s,
somewhere around there. Yeah. You know that overpass, gentlemen, that you can see I-5 heading south. You could also see the express lanes and the normal I-5 lanes heading north. I've been posting these videos on my drive-in probably around 8:30, 8:15, whatever time in the morning, and it is just a ghost town. And so I'm not convinced that there's so many people using those northbound express lanes like you're talking about that it justifies having them open during the highest traffic time. And I feel like my job is just, most of our listeners are not going to get the chance to talk to you, Mike, or you, Tom, who then can pass us up the chain to Julie Meredith. Can we just try? Can we just try to open them for a couple hours? I mean, I know you guys said that it takes a while for people to change their schedules and, maybe about a month or whatever. Can we just try before we go too far down this road where everybody's just sitting in traffic day after day after day? Are you guys willing to give it a shot? Come on, guys. What do you say? Please.
Yeah, at this point, we're not going to try something like that when we see the numbers trending in the right direction.
When you say trending in the right direction, what does that mean? Trending in the right direction?
For southbound I-5 traffic, we are seeing the delays that drivers are experiencing come down, moving and trending in the right direction.
Okay, so yesterday for me was 2 hours. So what's the point at which you go like, all right, this is working? 2 hours seems insane to me. What's the right direction? Like, what's the cutoff number? Assume you guys have internal numbers where you go like, hey, you know what? This is something that the drivers can put up with for the next 10 months. They're going to be happy with this. They're not going to be breathing down our necks about this. Like, what is that number for you guys? How do you quantify that?
Sure, we're going to continue to monitor. There's no threshold or line that we're looking for to which it becomes something we consider changing. Again, we see the trend and the numbers moving in the right direction, and we'll continue to stick with that as we can. And part of the challenge here is the resilience to the system. So it's not just about southbound I-5. When we talk about making a change, if we were to modify the express lanes hours, there's going to be a ripple effect affecting northbound I-5 for traffic coming in to Seattle and through Seattle, and changes that might ripple further from there to 405, 99, other routes that people might use.
So let me ask you this, if I'm hearing this correctly. Our own Chris Sullivan's been looking at this on a daily basis. That's his main focus is traffic, of course. He says that during the first month or so, we're about a month in, and things are starting to settle themselves out. The northbound traffic on I-5 and through the city is about 15 minutes faster than the pre-construction numbers. And while the southbound has, of course, been impacted with longer delays.
Well, the southbound's in hell.
Southbound's in hell. So have we got those numbers right? I mean, is he right in that assessment so far that the northbound commute, given that it's always going to be the northbound express lanes, there's a much easier commute during this construction than there was prior to it?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what data Chris is pointing to. Our numbers aren't showing that type of experience. Our northbound commute is hovering around our baseline, so pretty similar to what we saw before construction, while southbound is experiencing more. But again, with I-5 down to 2 lanes, the minute we make a change like that, we lose capacity, and then traffic would start stacking up coming into Seattle and northbound I-5.
But that's what's happening.
It's looking at the entire system and balancing it.
Yeah,
Anytime we make a change, it takes a while to rebalance itself.
I guess our thought process, if a month into this, you understand that the system has settled in and people have found their alternate methods or patterns of traffic. If the southbounds are experiencing, say, I'm going to ballpark it, an hour and a half delay from Everett to Seattle, or an hour and a half commute, I should say, from Everett to Seattle, and the northbound is getting zero impact from the construction. It's regular as usual numbers, right? If that's how it plays out after a month, you guys wouldn't consider, since we've got a year of this, you wouldn't consider a 2-week, and I know we're beating the same drum over it again, and I apologize, but you wouldn't consider maybe southbound lanes until 7 in the morning, and do that for 2 weeks and see if that has an impact. See if the northbound then is 25 minutes delayed and the southbound is then 45 minutes delayed. Try to even out the impact so it's not all falling upon the northbound or the southbound northern commuters. Do you follow what I'm asking?
Yeah, and again, our look here is at the entire system and making sure that we have a safe roadway for travelers on all routes, and especially with northbound I-5 down to the mainline portion down to 2 lanes. We need to consider that on top of everything else.
That outweighs. Okay, that outweighs travel time. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I understand. Let me ask you this. While this impact is, or this interruption is impacting the region, I know 405 southbound is also. And northbound has seen
people diverting
over there, and that's gotten crazy. Is there any possibility or consideration of waiving the fee lanes, the toll lanes,
which are
on 405
usually up at $15?
Yeah. While there's a higher volume over there because of this impact, is there any talk of or a possibility of relieving tolls on those to help ease that flow?
The State Tolling Commission sets the tolls. WSDOT doesn't control those, so we would not be involved in that.
Yeah, but you have their number and we don't. Can you call them and see if they consider it?
Guys,
we can certainly mention it.
There's got to be some. I know you said a second ago that there's no threat. There's no number that would change your mind on the commute. Let's say what are we almost a month into this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us some number that we can hold on to where we can go like, hey, if it just continues to be like this every day for the next weeks and weeks and weeks, then you guys are willing to come back to the table and have a conversation about this. It just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of openness to trying something else. And also, last question, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but I'm really experiencing this every day. I get hundreds and hundreds of messages about this during the show while we're talking about it. What are you guys basing not switching the lanes back and forth on? I mean, if it's acknowledged that that's working normally, you acknowledge that that's why you switch the lanes back and forth normally outside of construction. why aren't we willing to try it? Did you see this in some other system somewhere where they didn't switch it and that was the way that it worked and that was the best way to do it? Or another system where they did switch it and traffic got worse and it didn't get better for anybody? Like, I'm looking for something other than just, well, we're just deciding not to do it.
Yeah, we're looking at the system as a whole again. So, recognizing that northbound I-5 only has
two lanes
on the mainline portion, we need to ensure that we've got safety and reliability built into our approach on this project. And that's how we arrived at operating it in this fashion. Any change we make has any closure, like not having the express lane southbound, is obviously having an impact. But switching them off again, as you're suggesting, would create a separate ripple effect on other routes. And we are continuing to evaluate things. We are only 2 weeks into it, 2 complete weeks. We're starting our 3rd week this week. So
Sure.
It's still early in the process. Things are still settling out.
Well, maybe in 2 weeks we can come back to this, and when it's just as bad, we can have another conversation. Are you guys open to that? Can we talk again?
We're always here.
Awesome.
And we know this was a hornet's nest for you. We appreciate you guys being willing to come on because you're kind of getting the spear of the region's frustration from us because, like Jake said, we're getting hundreds and hundreds of messages a day.
I got to say, these are nice guys. Mike Swires, you're a nice guy. Tom Pierce, you're a nice guy. But I'm not loving the answer that your boss gave. I still don't think it's adequate. I think drivers deserve better. We're still going to stay on this. And I really do think you guys should consider opening up the express lanes because to me, this feels like you have your head stuck, not you guys specifically, but WashDOT has their head completely stuck in the sand. And I would love, if we could get these lanes open, get people moving throughout the region because it's bad. It's really bad. And people are going crazy. But we thank you guys for coming on and talking to us, even though we're throwing all this at you. Thank you guys.
We really appreciate you having us on. It's a great opportunity for us to share our message and just kind of help people understand why things are the way they are.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO News Radio congratulates Rick Rizz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hot air rises, and if your attic isn't properly insulated, that hot air, it's going to rise right through your ceiling, into your attic, and out your roof that's far past its half-life, which sounds cold and expensive. This is Jake Skorheim, and did you know that 25% of your home's heat loss is through your attic? So if your furnace is working overtime, it's time to call Valentine. Right now, Valentine has a great winter special. You can bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire project. Plus, with Valentine's financing options, they make it easy. No matter what your home needs, insulation, gutters, siding, or a new roof, you are guaranteed the Valentine experience, which is seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra-mile service, even in winter weather. My home is protected by Valentine. They keep me off the roof, which my wife and kids are extremely grateful for. I trust them to help you too. To lock in your winter bundle savings, call 206 Roofing today. Again, that's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000. Ugh.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
And this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Lonnie. Lonnie, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
We'd been with the same insurance company for over 32 years. And my husband said, come on, let's at least try it. And that was the smartest thing we ever did because we saved thousands, literally thousands a year on our insurance. They improved it. It cost me less, and it was a higher value. You know, I can't say enough good things about Scott because everything that he said he'd do, he did.
What do you tell your friends they can expect when they make the call to First Mark?
An easy, profitable, and actually pleasant call. They genuinely are trying to help you, and you can't beat that. We were silly to wait so long. A couple other friends that have called, too, they said, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
You see, Lonnie did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-Check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Right now, get a free furnace with the purchase of a premium heat pump and air cleaning package at CM Heating. Start today with an always free estimate. There's no beating CM Heating for heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical. Go to cmheating.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. We start today with the closing bell report as Amazon announces it is cutting 16,000 roles starting today. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke with employees in Seattle who fear more layoffs are coming.
Outside the Amazon spheres in downtown Seattle, one employee told me the fear and anxiety inside the company are real.
No job is safe. So even let's say you become a mathematician, scientist. I mean, I work in AI. I'm not safe.
Amazon has cut nearly 30,000 jobs since October. In a mass email to employees, the company said the moves are meant to reduce bureaucracy and that it does not anticipate further layoffs. The workers I spoke with tell me they no longer feel safe.
We don't know yet how many Washington workers will be laid off, but GeekWire's Todd Bishop expects that number to be in the thousands.
It's just a very difficult market right now. I mean, these have an impact, and they impact the tax base. They impact, businesses and spending capacity.
Separate from these corporate layoffs, the company announced today more than 400 local workers at Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go stores are being let go. Company notified the Employment Security Department saying the cuts take effect April 28th across 11 locations in Seattle, Bellevue, Mill Creek, and Puyallup. Another big Seattle company is also shedding jobs. Expedia says this round of cuts is hitting its technology staff. Spokesperson says the company is reorganizing and reducing layers to speed up decision-making. Federal Reserve is holding steady on interest rates at about 3.6%. Chairman Jerome Powell.
This normalization of our policy stance should help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its downward trend toward 2% once the effects of tariff increases have passed through.
As he announced those rates are holding steady, Powell was asked about his recent attendance at a Supreme Court hearing. CBS's Stacey Lynn has that.
Powell called the Supreme Court case over President Trump's attempt to oust Fed Governor Lisa Cook, quote, the most important legal challenge in the central bank's 113-year history. He was criticized for attending, but says if he didn't attend, it would be harder to explain.
At the close today on Wall Street, modest gains. The Dow up 12 points. NASDAQ ahead 40. The S&P 500 was flat, down a half a point. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, the KIRO Newsradio app brings us this update. The rain is picking up across most of the region this afternoon. Make sure to add a little space. Make sure those headlights are on. Our biggest backups are heading through Seattle, and South 5 is crowded from Northgate into downtown. 20 minutes from Linwood into Seattle, nothing too heavy. North 5, scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. You'll get a nice little clear patch through the downtown core, and it's taking you about 8 minutes to make it through downtown right now. Those lake bridges are all clear in both directions. South 405 is starting to fill in between South Bellevue and Renton, but Bellevue to Renton's still looking good at 20 minutes. And up in Canyon Park and North 405, we've got a brief backup mile or so through State Route 527. Text to app, APP, to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dry streak is officially over. We have afternoon rain today, more downpours at times for tomorrow. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's the stuff to get to, Spike. You want to talk about car tabs for a minute?
Sure, we can talk about this
story.
This story scares me.
Should scare everybody, Spike. Should scare everyone, as car tabs often do. You can read about this at mynorthwest.com. I read the actual proposed bill, which I believe is called, what's the name of this bill?
SB, state bill, right?
Yep.
6176-2526.
There it is.
Yep.
That old chestnut.
6176.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to come up with harsher penalties for people who don't pay their car tabs. And the reason that people are not paying their car tabs is because car tabs are really expensive in our state. They've gotten very pricey. There was some initiatives that tried to lower the cost of car tabs.
That was Tim Eyman, right?
Tim Eyman, all the way back
tabs,
in,
right?
Was it 1999?
Yeah.
Is that it? Was that it?
Right.
Which passed $30 car tabs. There were some, discussions about was it legal. It ended up, I think, was it Gary Locke who was governor at the time? I think he was governor at the time. He realized, listen, this is what the people want. And for a brief, shining, bright, beautiful moment, we had affordable car tabs. And then they decided to say that, what was it, 20 years later that they got the thing shut down? Was it 2020 that they said it was that initiative that they tried to pass again, because the number started climbing up and up and up again. And then they tried it again, and then they said, oh, okay, well, this is actually, they got it under the two-rule initiative, where they said—
because it was confusing initiative.
It's confusing to people, so they don't know what they're talking about.
Single issue
yeah, it has to be single issue.
Right,
anyway, all that to say, you have really expensive car tabs, even though you have voted multiple times and you want cheaper car tabs. And now they're trying to figure out, how do we penalize people enough? How do we make it hurt enough so that they are paying their car tabs? Because according to this story, there's like 600,000 people in the state who are driving around with unregistered vehicles, with either expired
tabs,
or they're just not registering it when they buy their vehicle or whatever it is.
So is it still a primary reason for police to stop someone? It seemed to me that there was a de-emphasis.
Well, there was a time period where they said, we're not going to pull people over for expired tabs.
Right.
And then people said, oh, well, that's kind of my only motivation for getting tabs.
Right.
So why would I get tabs if you're not going to pull me over? And now they're saying, well, not only are we going to pull you over, but according to this bill, but we are going to then fine you pretty heavily. So I'm going to read you a couple of these fines. You tell me if you think these are a good idea. Failure to make initial registration before operating a vehicle on public highways. I'm reading directly from the bill here. Of this state is a traffic infraction. A person committing this infraction must pay a fine of $529, which may not be suspended or reduced. That seems like a lot of money.
How much?
$529.
That's a big ticket.
So that's your fine. In addition to that, you're also having to pay those tabs. So you're going to have to pay the ticket, and you're going to have to get right with your tabs. And this can be a lot of money out of pocket. If you continue to not get your tabs renewed, they have different levels of punishment, including up to $5,000 for not having your tabs. They also, listen to this. This part's crazy to me. The fine, where is this? Where they talk about going into private garages. Oh, yeah, here you go. Failure to renew an expired registration of a vehicle that is parked, standing, or unoccupied on the public right-of-way, on publicly owned property, or within a privately owned off-street parking facility imposing vehicle parking fees. So they're saying, like, let's say you live in a building where you have a parking garage, right?
Oh, is that what they're saying, or are they saying if it's in a parking garage, like a diamond per se?
Sure.
Where I got to pay for a parking space. If it from
any privately owned parking garage, they could find your vehicle if they find it.
Yeah.
If it has no
tabs on it.
No tabs on it. If the owner of that garage agrees to let them find your vehicle.
Okay.
So they can come in, but because it wasn't on public streets in that point, it wouldn't be the same infraction. It would be the same as a parking ticket, which is like $129 or something like that. $145.
My first thought was, I said to you before, we got 7 vehicles at our home.
Yeah.
Right.
Is every one of them registered appropriately?
No, a couple of them aren't up to date tab wise. There's a motorcycle in my garage that isn't up to speed tab wise.
Are any in street parking?
Nope. So it's in my driveway.
Okay.
Off the street or in my garage.
So if it's in your garage, and if it's in your private property, you're probably good.
Yeah, because I'm not going to tab a bike I haven't had out in 3 years because we have 3 Harleys.
If it doesn't even run. Exactly. A lot of these cars aren't even running.
Exactly. I've got a car that we don't use. Although I will, for full transparency, I'll admit, I rode dirty a couple months ago. We had an emergency in the house. I needed that 4th vehicle. Got in and drove it to work one day, drove home.
Did you get pulled over?
Nope. Realized that I had bad tabs.
Lucky.
Yeah. I would have, under this new rule.
So Washington State, they say what? They say there's 600,000 unlicensed or unregistered vehicles in our state.
Or delayed.
We have a lot of vehicles in our state, though. Did you realize we have 6 million drivers in Washington State? We have about 8 million and change people, and 6 million of those are of driving age. Isn't that crazy?
Does that mean there's how many cars? How many registered vehicles?
We have about 8 million cars in the state. That's what they say. Like one for almost each person in the state. Which is it's one of the higher of all the states. I don't know why. We just have a lot of vehicles in Washington. People like to have a lot of vehicles.
That means about 7% of the vehicles aren't registered.
And in your driveway.
In my driveway. Yeah. Well, let me see, 7% of my vehicles aren't registered. That's about average. I'm about average.
Do you think that's fair for them to go after folks at such a high amount? I mean, $1,000. Like here's another one. Like if it happens on your 3rd offense, $1,000 to be deposited into the vehicle licensing fraud account created in the state treasury, which may not be suspended or reduced.
Yeah, I think 3rd offense. Yeah, that's a habitual tab ignorer.
Should there be any penalty every time the voter has gotten the opportunity to put this at $30 car tabs or as cheap as possible? The state steps in and says, whether it's through the state Supreme Court or whatever, says it's an unconstitutional. You can't do this initiative because it's
multi-issue. Yeah.
Should there be any penalties for them continually ignoring the will of the public? This is what they want. Don't people want cheap car tabs?
They do, and if obviously they find a legal mechanism to do this to us. They're the ones who make the rules, so they get to decide what rules.
We're literally reading one right now where they're trying.
Do you remember last summer though? Jason Rance had Tim Eyman on because he was a peaceful political protest. Is what he got hauled to court about tabs.
That's right.
And he said, no, it's my peaceful protest to not comply with state tabbing laws, registration laws. That's my political protest.
Apparently, a lot of people are doing it. 600,000 cars.
That's a lot of money, man.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
The state says it's missing out on, what was it, 200? Was it $242 million?
No, I thought it was 25. I thought it was 25 million in lost revenue for tabs.
Oh, that's right. $242
is what the average
minimum fee.
Yeah. Okay.
$25 million in fees.
They're not states not bringing in.
Yeah. Well, Do you want them to collect their money? Do you want the state to get their money?
I'd like people to obey the rules. Yeah, I would. I'd like them to get their money. I mean, I'd like cheaper tabs. If we vote for a base tab fee, I'd like them to honor that.
I would like cheaper tabs.
If they want us to play by the rules, maybe they should play by the rules too. That seems fair, right?
That's the most fair thing I think you could say. Yeah. I would like, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Yes.
If we want the cheaper car tabs, we should get it.
Yeah, you don't get to change the rules when you don't like them.
Seems like that's what they're doing. All right, we have a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
You know, it's frustrating. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn right around and waste it. Americans are getting fed up, and that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Charlie Harger here. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. You need to call the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over, and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life.
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchies.
Worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchies worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
All right, welcome back to the show. A lot of stuff to get to, but right now this is it looks like we have a cooking segment.
No. Well, yes, we do, sort of. Last week, I was enjoying some homemade soup. And I told you that a recipe I found in Ireland, Irish vegetable soup.
Oh, yeah.
And so this show's been kind of stressful for you, I can tell. You know, WASDOT did not ease your tensions.
I felt like I was stuck in traffic in my conversation with WASDOT. I just got nowhere, just like my daily commute.
Kind of went around about, weren't we?
Yes, that's what
and
it felt
we
like.
appreciate they're giving
with
us
no
the time.
getting off.
I thought you could use a moment of nice, warm soup.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
So
it's
I mean,
kind of cold outside. Yeah. So you actually made soup. You brought it in. If you guys are watching on camera.
Be careful. It's on the warm
Oh,
side.
that's
Laura,
nice.
this is for you.
This is homemade soup.
This is I promised Laura I would share the recipe.
Oh, that smells good.
Would you like some fresh sourdough with that?
Yeah.
There you go.
You really did. You brought in sourdough.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
well,
fantastic.
sourdough was from the bakery across the street.
Oh, that's lovely.
Laura, a piece of sourdough?
I would love a piece of
just
sourdough.
a nice.
You know who's looking a little jealous right now?
It's in here for you, buddy, Andrew.
Andrew's got some.
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
So, Spike, tell us a little bit about this Irish soup. You were in country when you saw
I
this?
was in country. My wife and I were in country down in Avoca, which is in the south of the country, at a weaver, one of those Irish sweater little town, you know, in a dale.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we found this soup at this restaurant, and we loved it, and we kind of harangued the inn owner to share the recipe with me.
Okay.
And it's complete. There's no dairy in it. There's no meat in it. It's
no crab in this.
No crab. There's no shellfish in it, buddy.
Okay. No shellfish.
Careful,
in
it might be hot.
soup?
I make it a little bland because the missus enjoys it a little bland.
Ooh.
I like salt and pepper. It
That's
kind of
really
needs
good.
a salt and pepper.
What's in that?
It has got carrots, garlic, leeks, broccoli.
Oh, I can taste that leek.
peppers.
That's a nice leek.
And potatoes. There's
Of
no
course. Can't have an Irish soup
potato.
without
Yeah,
a potato.
exactly. So you start with some vegetable stock. You're right, and you put that in. Isn't that great? And it's a warm, wonderful soup. Try it with the bread. It's wonderful.
Dip that bread in there.
Yeah. So I thought
tasty.
I thought you guys could use a little hug from the inside, an Irish hug from the inside there today. Given that
That's really nice.
You betcha, buddy. And I brought some for you to take home too. I brought you.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah.
Where have you been
You and
storing
Laura.
this?
It's in the fridge. I got
Okay.
a couple
Earlier,
big,
it was in
couple
the trunk
mason
of your
jars.
car.
It looks like I had to bring it to work.
Yeah.
And I forgot to bring it in when I came in, but there's no meat
Wait a
in
minute.
it.
How long was this in your car?
It was like a couple hours.
Okay.
You know, and there's no meat, there's no dairy. It's all
I
vegetables.
think everything goes to the microwave. It
It
basically kills any of your germs.
Exactly. But that's my Irish soup recipe, my Irish vegetable soup recipe from Avoca.
Would you share this
in
with the
Wicklow, in
audience?
County Wicklow. Yes, I will. And I promised Laura last time I brought it
put
in.
this on the
that I would.
website?
Yeah, I'll write that up for you today and we'll share it out there. If you'd like it. This time of year, it's perfect soup weather. I love it. I know, Andrew, you're a soup guy. You make homemade soups.
Yeah, that's my deal.
Yeah. And this is it's a pureed soup. When you take all the vegetables, you boil it, you caramelize part
Putting
of
this
the...
in a Ninja or something? What are you mixing this in?
I actually have a what they call Vitamix.
Yeah.
That industrial
Veggie
blender.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is kind of a baby food consistency.
Yeah, it's
really
pureed.
smooth.
You caramelize and saute a portion of the vegetables, boil the potatoes and the broccoli into the stock.
When did you start cooking?
When did I pick up the habit of
When did
cooking?
you pick up the habit of because you really do like it. You
I
talk
love,
about it all
I love
the
to
time.
cook. When I was a teenager, I spent summers at the beach. And all my buddies got beach jobs. You know, you're renting umbrellas in the sand or you're working at T-shirt shops, those kind of things. I went to work at the best restaurant in town. My first summer, I was a dishwasher. My second summer, I was a food prep. After that, I became a sous chef.
Really?
And I learned to cook in a professional kitchen at a
What a fortunate age to start.
Yeah.
Your whole life, you understood how food works.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you understand, I imagine once you understand the basics, you can tackle anything.
Yeah, it is. It's science. It really is. It's a matter of this works with that doesn't work with those. Boom, bada bing. But you know what I love about it is people enjoying what you've made.
Yeah.
That's everything. You know, when you have family over or friends over and you prepare a meal for them and you set it down and you get to just watch this works.
What is the thing that you make best of all. Like if you had to sit down and you had to serve a meal to the queen of a country that has a queen.
Oh, I would stuff and wrap a pork tenderloin.
Ooh.
And I would make a homemade raspberry glaze for that with raspberry and about 12. You want a shortcut?
To a raspberry glaze?
A raspberry glaze, yeah.
I'm always looking for a shortcut for a raspberry glaze.
Raspberry jam, a good raspberry jam. What's the one that comes in the jar like you've got on your desk? Who makes that?
Smuckers?
Bon Maman?
No, the French one, the $7 a jar one. Thanks a lot, inflation.
Sure.
1 part raspberry jam and then just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and some A1 steak sauce.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
I had a friend who worked in that same restaurant, was a saucier, who went to France to study sauce making.
Sure.
And he said, dude, I could get 28 different herbs and spices in here, or I could grab this bottle of A1 who've already done the work for me.
It's all right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what they say, secret sauce is ketchup and mayonnaise with some relish in it.
Are they right?
Boom. Yes. Yes.
You know what's a really good jelly that you could use? Because you were just saying the
French one.
What was the kind that you said? Not a Smuckers. A Schmuckers?
Bon Maman.
Bon Maman, yeah. That's the one with the red and white check lid.
Oh, okay, I know that one.
Yeah.
Do you know who is Costco?
Yes.
Costco has a fantastic raspberry jelly.
They make a 4-berry from that same company in a Costco-sized jar, yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
It's organic, if that's your thing. It's really nice. It tastes good. Yeah. Kids love it.
You like the soup? I make
soup is really good.
I make Irish soda bread as well, but I didn't have time to bake you fresh soda bread with this.
Listen, I'm not going to hold it against you. Yeah. You brought me delicious sourdough bread, which is nice.
Next St. Pat's, I'll make some of this. I'll make some homemade soda bread. We'll have a nice, really St. Patrick's Day here.
Sweet.
You guys.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like a month and a half away?
Yeah. You betcha.
Perfect.
Andrew, you've got the palate and everything.
What do you think, Andrew? Pretty good?
Standards?
Oh, you're asking me opinion about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's already gone. So
fair
fair
enough.
You need
it's
to know.
Thank you. That's the nice compliment you can get.
Yeah, it's
I just want you guys to know I appreciate you.
That's very nice.
I do. I care about you.
What's that? Everyone got soup?
Except you, buddy.
Yeah, I see that.
I blame you for the I-5 southbound every morning.
Thank you.
I blame you directly.
Please.
Nate, if you want a sip of soup, I got
some more in the kitchen I can put together.
Yeah, he's got some more in his trunk.
No, it's all right. I'm not big.
It's in the glove box of my car.
That's Nate's. We'll give that one to Nate.
We'll share it. Laura, if they text in, we can send it to them directly.
People have been begging for this recipe for over a week now.
I'll deliver.
We got to deliver today.
All right, we'll do it.
You got it.
All right, a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Seems the state doesn't have any issues declaring an emergency when a truck takes out a bridge, but when it's their fault, that's maybe not an emergency. Small towns on the northwest corner of Mount Rainier are finding this out the hard way with their bridge out of commission. This is Sully. I'll have Choke Points tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. FBI agents in Georgia are executing a search warrant at the Fulton County Election Office. Democratic State Senator Josh McLaurin says agents are taking 2020 election ballots. CBS's Skylar Henry.
A spokesperson said agents were, quote, executing a court-authorized law enforcement action at the main election office. For a time, Fulton County was the epicenter of President Trump's concerns surrounding the 2020 race. President Trump long insisting that the 2020 race was stolen, despite judges across the country and his own attorney general finding no evidence of widespread election fraud.
2 federal agents involved in the shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis last Saturday are on administrative leave. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The Department of Homeland Security says the 2 agents have been on administrative leave since Saturday. A spokesperson says 3 days of administrative leave is standard policy for officer-involved shootings. The agents did not lose their gun, badge, or pay. A few days ago, Greg Bovino, the head of Border Patrol, told reporters at a news conference that the agents were on duty but had been relocated away from Minneapolis for their own safety. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The deadline to pass a spending bill to avoid a government shutdown is Friday. Democrats are threatening to block more funding for the Department of Homeland Security after the recent deadly shootings of 2 people in Minneapolis by federal immigration agents. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats have no choice but to call out Republicans who are not willing to come to the negotiating table.
Senate Democrats are united on a set of common sense and necessary policy goals that we need to rein in ICE and end the violence.
After the winter storm that swept through large parts of the country, CBS News has confirmed at least 41 deaths. Over 360,000 customers from Texas to Kentucky still do not have power as freezing temperatures hang around. Jerika Pryor in ice-coated Oxford, Mississippi, hasn't had power for 4 days.
I'm going in and out of my vehicle to charge my phone, get a little warmth throughout the day. It's harder at night, but like I said, we're making it do. I'm making it do what it needs to be done.
Federal Reserve pauses interest rate cuts, leaving its key rate unchanged at about 3.6% after lowering it 3 times last year. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says they see little reason to rush any further rate cuts.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people.
On Wall Street, the Dow closed up 12 points, NASDAQ jumped 40, and the S&P 500 closed flat. Microsoft reports a 60% jump in net income for the last quarter of 2025 as spending on AI surged. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS Mornings on the go on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Much angst at Amazon headquarters today. We go there after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one brought to you by Simply Seattle. Overall, it's a decent commute out there. Rain along for the ride for most this afternoon. Here in Seattle, South 5 gets packed approaching the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Plan on 15 minutes between Linwood and Seattle. North 5, we've got scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge now across the Ship Canal. 25 minutes to clear this. South 405, we're heavy through Factoria, but you'll thin out by the time you hit Coal Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton, 20 to 25 minutes. In Renton, North 405, we're crowded through the S-curves. And on the Valley Freeway, we've got building volumes through Kent and again between Algona and Sumner. All added up, it's about a half-hour drive southbound from Renton into Puyallup. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoffs gear and custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online and enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Outside the Amazon spheres in Seattle this morning.
I think it really sucks.
Uncertainty, anxiety as employees enter the company's headquarters. They learned today Amazon is cutting 16,000 roles across the globe. CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
While Amazon's workforce is still vast, this is really about shifting a direction and trying to make as much money for your shareholders as possible by putting your energy, your resources, your people into AI, where Amazon believes the future lies.
A horrific scene in the town of Vaughan on the Key Peninsula. A man returned home to a gruesome scene. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Pierce County deputies were called to the home in Vaughan just before 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. The man returned home from work and found his wife, adult son, and the family dog shot to death in a bedroom. Investigators say the son was struggling with mental health and addiction issues, and although unconfirmed, murder-suicide is suspected. Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
We are not looking for any suspects. Everybody is contained to this scene. The husband has been very cooperative.
And Deputy Capetto says a handgun was found near the bodies. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The blood supply in the Pacific Northwest is now critically low. Bloodworks Northwest is urging everyone to donate if they can. The organization's Juan Cotto says they have only a 1 to 2 day supply.
If just a small percentage of eligible people step up, we can fix this relatively quickly.
Cotto says they need a couple thousand donors in the next week to return the supply to a healthy level. The voice of the Mariners offering a tearful farewell today ahead of his final season in the broadcast booth. Rick Riz spoke to the media, says it's been an incredible ride.
You know, you get to a certain point where you're not that little kid, you know, watching the games on TV.
51 years he's calling professional baseball, 40 of them here in Seattle.
It's the people that you meet along the way. And yeah, this is going to be my last year, but I'm not going anywhere. I still want to hang out with the ball club.
He'll continue to call all the home games, but Riz will get some well-deserved time off for those road trips. Weather update now, cloudy skies, afternoon rain, heavier rain for tomorrow and again on Friday. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one fantastic hour to go. Lots of stuff that we're going to chat about. Third hour is always the best hour. So if you guys are just tuning in, congratulations.
Well done. Yes.
You have chosen wisely. Yes. All right. This is an attention-grabbing headline. This is the silly season in this short legislative session where they're proposing a bunch of new bills that hopefully never get passed.
Can we tease something for tomorrow, though, by the way?
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't come tomorrow to listen to the show, you're going to miss Charlie Harger's feature on 3 potential bills in this new silly session of legislation that could help make children safer in the state of Washington.
Oh, that's great.
Charlie's got a great piece
I
on
like
minor
bills
threats.
like that.
Yes, and we'll have Charlie come on tomorrow with us and explain what they're all about.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, I like that
it's
one.
not all nutty mayhem down there in Olympia.
This is one I don't like. I'm going to read you a little bit of this bill, and if you are at all familiar with what just happened recently up in, where was it?
San Juan County.
San Juan County.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So San Juan County decided, they did this pilot program for a couple of years, and they said, why don't we take our public employees and start not requiring them to work 40 hours? What if instead we said, hey, how about 32 hours, which is a 4-day work week?
Mm-hmm.
Will that make people happier? Will they feel like life is better, better quality of life, work-life balance, all that stuff?
Sure.
So they've done it, and they have now seen that they've reported, they said an 18% decrease in sick calls, a 216% increase in people applying for job openings.
Right, makes them a more attractive opportunity. People want to go to work.
That's right. 83% rate of workers who saw improved work-life balance as a result of an 8-hour reduction in the work week. Now, obviously, most people hear about a 32-hour work week and they think to themselves, well, yeah, why not?
Sure, who wouldn't want to work less for the same amount of money?
And that's just it. And San Juan County was for the same amount of money.
Right.
So what happened basically was you had the San Juan County employees, their union up there, they wanted to get a pay raise.
Mm-hmm.
And San Juan County said, well, we don't have money to give you a pay raise, but what if we just asked you to work less? And that's the same as a pay raise. So we're not going to ask more of you. We're not going to give you more money, but we will ask less of your time.
Yes.
And they said, oh, okay, great, we'll do it. So they're getting the same pay that they were getting beforehand. Mm-hmm. And the argument on the other side was, well, we can do all the work that we were doing in 40 hours. We can just be really efficient in 32 hours.
Right. That's the yeehaw moment for the San Juan County is we didn't see a drop in productivity. Even though our workers were giving us 32 hours instead of 40, we didn't see any drop in productivity, and people are happier and they don't call in sick, and more people want the jobs and less people leave it. We have a higher rate of retention. All positive, positive, positive. And we noticed something.
Yeah.
They're missing a very glaring element of this equation.
Go ahead.
If you can do it in 32 and we were paying you 40, weren't you stealing from us?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm no business major.
Yeah.
I'm no mathematician, but if you've been getting 40 and you can do it in 32, haven't you been dogging?
So you've been going 8 hours slow,
slagging off,
taking a lot of water breaks.
Right, 20% of your work day is a waste of my time and our tax money.
Long lunches, whatever it was.
They skipped over that part.
They also said that they're saving. San Juan County said that they're saving $2 million by having people work 32 hours instead of 40 hours. This is tricky math. What they're actually doing is they're accounting for the raise they didn't have to give people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're saying the savings is.
Well, they also factor in loss of sick. Money you lose when people call in sick. Those kind of all those different little contributions.
In this case,
recruiting new people, retraining new hires, those kind of things are all coming into the savings, right?
I believe it was just the amount that they weren't going to have to pay.
Oh, that's just the rate increase. The pay increase they were asking for was about $2 million.
Well, it was over 2 years, I believe.
Okay.
But yes, so that was my understanding. I could be wrong about that, but my understanding was it was based on the increased pay that they were going to have to pay out, and now they don't have to pay out.
But fast forward to Olympia.
Okay, so here's what Olympia is trying to do. So Representative Sean Scott, who we actually played a clip of him earlier, so take this with a grain of salt. This is Sean Scott, if you don't remember who he is.
Do you think that Amazon and Microsoft are a net good for our state?
Say more about that. When you say net good, what do you mean?
Do you think they contribute and add more value to our state than they detract?
I think that workers, were they to collectivize, could come up with something like Amazon.
Workers could come up with an Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he went to the same school as the Miss Teen Wonderment pageant. People who have globes, who know where globes,
such as, remember that? That was so funny. Was it Miss Carolina? Miss Teen Carolina?
I don't want to misstate that poor woman. But,
yeah.
That's where Scott went. Scott was Mr. Congeniality, I believe.
He's sponsoring a new bill that would all of Washington workers would only have to do. They would move. Here's from the My Northwest Story. Lawmakers in Olympia are considering a proposal to move the state from a standard 40-hour work week to a 32-hour work week. Do you guys like this idea? Do you think this is a good idea? He makes the argument. He says Americans work annually 125 more hours yearly than workers in Canada, 204 more annually than workers in Japan, 279 more annually than in the UK, and 470 more annually than people in Germany. According to Scott's numbers.
According to Scott, yeah.
Here's what I would say about that, just anecdotally. America is way more awesome as a country than all of those other countries.
Well.
And you know what? It takes hard work. And sometimes it takes a 40-hour work week and a little extra effort, Scott. That's why America is so awesome, because people were in the work for it. If he wants to be a Germany, I highly recommend he move to Germany. So what do you think about this? Good idea for the state to have 32-hour work weeks for everybody?
I'd like to know what the numbers dictate, what they bear out with. I mean, he cites these other countries where workers work less, right? Is their worker productivity as high? Do they accomplish as much?
Also, what's the quality of life like in all these other countries that he's talking about? Do they have the same benefits that we do here in Washington? Like, they're also going to have to listen to this. Lawmakers are skeptical. Here's one who talked about. This is Republican Representative Joel McIntyre. He says, I'm just wondering why this is a one-size-fits-all policy. Why do we think this should work for the whole state when we have such a variety of different industries and working personalities? He then questioned, he goes, a shorter work week, employers would then have to pay overtime based on 32 hours instead of the 40-hour week. Sick and vacation time would also be calculated for a shorter week. I assume that the entire state, because they don't have any money and employers aren't as generous as they usually are with tax dollars, employers are not going to pay people 40-hour work weeks if they're only getting 32 hours out of their employees. Is that right?
What is he talking about? State employees with a 42 or 32-hour work week? He's not talking about statewide. He can't dictate to every owner.
Well, he's saying as a state, we'd move to a 40-hour, 32-hour work week statewide. A proposal to move the state from a standard 4-hour work week to a 32-hour work week. And then the question in the piece is, with a shorter work week, employers would then have to pay overtime at 32 hours.
This is state employees. These are state employees. He's not talking about you, me, and Charlie Harger. Because, by the way, we're in his district.
I believe he's talking about everybody. If that's the standard, then companies would, I guess, have to acquiesce to that standard.
I ain't going to get off the runway. How do you ain't going to get off the dock? How's this boat leave the dock? How do you tell business owners?
The Washington Hospitality Association think that the shorter week is a bad idea.
Hospitality workers.
Workers.
No, they don't work for the state. They were privately owned. Yeah.
Yeah. So they think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
Does he think this is a good idea for real? Why is he? And a lot of these proposals, a lot of these bills, they're not going to get anywhere. Obviously. People don't take it seriously.
They're just having a conversation. They're having a discussion.
But if he could do this, he would. Like, he's going to keep trying to do these things. Like a couple years ago, because the state has voted it down. We talked about with Charlie Harger earlier in the show about the income tax. Washington voters have voted an income tax down 12 different times since 1932.
Yes, that's right.
12 different times. And yet, what's the main thing they're talking about right now? A millionaire's tax, de facto income tax, which would then, if you look at the language, and Charlie broke this down for us earlier, if you look at the language, it's not a millionaire's tax. It leaves it wide open
it is right
to
now,
lower the threshold.
There's no limitations on them lowering that threshold in the future, not part of this bill.
They could say 500,000, they could say 100,000, they could say 75. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So why is it that they're even able to suggest such things? It's ridiculous.
Well, we've looked at this topic before with a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Right. 4 10s instead of 4 8s. Right. I mean, because when we talk about, transportation and our daily commutes and congestion, all these things, we've noticed the traffic is easier on Mondays and Fridays. Because some people not as many people work those days as
flexible schedules, whatever it might be.
Maybe 4 10s is a good way to go because it does solve a lot of different problems with a business. If you only have to run the office 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, if commuters are on the road 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, we talk about a 10% reduction in traffic, but it makes such a difference. What if this is a way to get there?
The interesting thing, though, is private employers cannot be as generous as San Juan County can with their employees, where they said, hey, we're going to pay you your full 40-hour week. We're just going to ask 32 hours of you.
Yeah, right.
Private employers are not going to do that. And you can't force them to do that, and that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, 32 doesn't seem – I think maybe 40 in 4 10s, giving those options to people instead of 5 8s.
But that's still a 40-hour work week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The benefits I see from a 4-day work week as opposed to a 32-hour work week, I don't see how you make that the law of the land. In Washington is a 32-hour work week.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, you're totally right. 4 10s. I mean, I know lots of people firefighters who do
their schedules are phenomenally long.
Crazy shifts, but
4 days on, 3 days off, or some such. They do crazy numbers.
Yep.
But I know a lot of people have 4 10 work weeks, and they love it. They love 3-day weekends every week.
100%.
I mean, it's when we see in the studies that you need a day for family, a day for your community, a day for yourself. in a 3-day work week is what makes the human condition as optimal, healthy, and
3-day weekend.
3-day weekend. I mean, yeah. See, I already got to 24 instead of 32.
We're already down to a 3-day work week.
It's a slippery slope, people.
Wow.
We're talking about 1 8 a week, folks. Can we get one good 8-hour day?
Really fast. Do you honestly think that the average worker in Washington would be willing to take 20% less and only work 4 days a week?
I don't think anybody could absorb a 20% decrease
That's
in pay.
my question. It's like, how could people stomach that?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's possible.
There's probably some people, high earners out there, who'd be willing, or
well, sure,
or maybe like, I just don't know. I don't know who that would be. I don't know who would say, hey, I'll take 20% less to only work 4 days a week.
I mean, I can't see anybody who could. I know I couldn't. I'd be happy to work 4 10s. I like
unless
this job.
It also highlights to me how crazy that San Juan deal is. San Juan County paying full-time salaries for 32-hour work weeks.
Yeah, 4 days.
But I guess when you live on an island, you can do crazy things.
That's it. The cost of living. It's funny that particular story of the 32s in San Juan. You know why most people love that 4-day work week? Because they have to have 1 or 2 or 3 side hustles to afford to live on the island.
Oh, in San Juan County?
Yeah. These people working 32 for the county are also working 2-3 different side hustles in order to be able to afford living in San Juan County.
It's pricey out there.
It is. And it's worth it. I mean, it's a great quality of life.
Do you want to
wave at you? It's wonderful.
It is nice. Yeah, you can see whales from time to time.
Sure.
Can't put a price on that. You want to talk about retail theft for a second?
Yeah.
Did you see these numbers? This is crazy. There's 2 stories. There's 2 retail theft stories. One of them, I think, is good. King County's prosecuting more retail theft crimes.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
You opened my eyes to how prevalent this was.
Did I?
Yes, because when we talked this story a few months ago, one of the retailers that was closing their doors, it was Fred Meyer, I believe, that I thought it was just people who were stealing for their own, uses. People who
like a sad story,
right? These poor people can't even afford shoes. They're stealing food. They're stealing clothes. Blah blah blah. Yeah. No, it's a black market after market. And I rode up by the government housing in North Seattle there, right by the city line.
Yep.
Looking at these low income housing sponsored by our tax dollars, and there's a black market.
Yeah.
On the sidewalk outside this building.
It's like
they got new clothes hanging on hangers, hanging on a chain link fence.
It's like a bazaar.
Yes, exactly.
You walk through it and
come
there's
shopping.
all these different things.
We need Jesus come through, flip the tables.
Here's your deodorants over here.
Deodorants, baby stuff.
A lot of it.
Clothes hanging.
A lot of it is just easy to grab stuff, things shove in their pockets real fast.
And the fact that retailers don't have the legal right sometimes to stop shoplifters.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Right?
These guys are coming in all the time. All your money's just walking right out the door. Yeah. You don't want to confront them because you don't want to put your employees in danger.
Exactly.
The police aren't responding in enough time. Thankfully, though, King County prosecutors have ticked up in the charges. 640 felony economic and property crimes cases in 2025. That's the highest total since 2019. There was only 506 in 2024 and 367 in 2023. So obviously trending in the right direction.
Yes.
It's just a willingness to prosecute these crimes.
Well, it's not just a willingness also, because Casey McNerney gave us these numbers. There's a decrease in violent crimes, and that's allowing police to focus on retail theft.
Yep, it's great.
They can move their resources where they need to be.
They're also a vast majority of these crimes are committed by the same people over and over and over again.
Yes.
That's the crazy part, is because you hear these stories about, people are going into these grocery stores and they're stealing food to feed their families. And then you go, actually, no, it's like the same 10 guys. And they just know that this is an easy place to go and rip off.
Right, with zero barriers.
Their drug money.
Zero barriers to stealing.
Which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one that's crazy. This is not drug money. This is Lululemon stuff that's being sold. Tacoma News Tribune had this story. A friend of ours sent it to us. And there's a woman who's accused of selling. I didn't realize that Lululemon was so expensive. It's like really pricey stuff. Really pricey.
Look at Laura's eyebrows from across the room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's it's
high
worth
quality.
it.
Is it quality?
It's worth it, but it's, I ask for a pair of leggings every Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like that special?
Yep. Yeah.
This lady, according to these charging documents, said that between September 2024, again, this is in Tacoma News Tribune, between September 2024 and June of 25, she received $919,000 through Venmo. Investigators say she withdrew $72,745 of that. The majority of the payments to her were for Lululemon items, the documents show. So apparently,
she sold on Venmo $900,000,
almost $1 million, allegedly,
with a stolen Lululemon gear.
Yeah, allegedly. She apparently had store that wasn't disclosed, according to the story, that wasn't that the state was unaware of, where she was selling these things. And let's see here, her business was, this is according to Skorheim News Tribune, was in Bridgeport Way West. The state that she was allegedly operating it without the city or state's knowledge, which is a no-no.
How do you do that?
Well, I think you just pop it up and start selling stuff. A loss prevention officer in the Lululemon organized retail theft division contacted local police a couple years ago, and they said, listen, we've got all these, because they can find these using radio frequency identification tags.
Oh, the stolen merch?
If it's in the area, they can use these things to identify, and they found that there were 600 stolen items at this store, according to the story.
Her store was Nulu and more.
Yeah. That's a lot of money, almost $1 million bucks.
That's some cojones, as they say in the underworld. That lady had some stones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fearless.
That's a lot of money. It's a shame. I mean, it's crazy that it's that expensive to buy that stuff, number one.
Yeah.
People pay that much for leggings, but whatever.
And retailers, they factor in theft to the cost of doing business.
Good for them for following up on this. I mean, think about how much their business was hurt because of all the stuff that was just walking out. She claims, according to these court documents, that she got them from an unknown Romanian source on the internet. She could not provide names or locations. Or where the people got it from, or how she received the shipment.
Some guy in a tracksuit, lots of jewelry.
Exactly.
Sure.
In a very lovely, tight-fitting tracksuit made by Lululemon. Very crazy story, but good thing they got that shut down. But obviously she's, it's all alleged because the trial's still happening.
Still going, but good on the what's it, the first 3 counts of first degree trafficking of stolen property in the first degree.
Good job, loss prevention.
Thank you, Pierce County Sheriff.
Prevent that loss. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Starbucks did something a few months ago. Was it just a few months ago?
Yeah, prior to the holidays, maybe last summer.
We're gonna try a new approach because we're losing money and we would like to make money.
They were getting rid of the grab and go, not to that might be trademarked from Amazon.
Sure.
But they wanted people to return to Starbucks and spend more time in the stores and make it a community place to hang.
And is it working is the question. We can answer that question for you when we come back. Also, something about maggots. This is a weird story, but we'll tell you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Does my voice sound pretty good?
Better than I thought it would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me like, get up, Dad.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You know, it's frustrating. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn right around and waste it. Americans are getting fed up, and that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Charlie Harger here. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. You need to call the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show starts this Friday. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer zero down, zero interest, and zero payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Amazon is going ahead with its largest ever round of layoffs, cutting 16,000 roles starting today.
That's a lot of roles, but I mean, that keeps on changing, and I guess that's way above my pay grade.
He works at Amazon. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke with others who fear more layoffs are coming.
This employee told me outside the Amazon spheres in Seattle, the message is clear.
No job is safe.
After 14,000 layoffs in October and another 16,000 this month, despite the company saying it does not expect more, he tells me many coworkers fear additional cuts. And they're starting side projects outside Amazon just in case.
Start something small. Don't depend on anybody, I think.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports another big Seattle company is also cutting jobs.
I'm Jillian Raftery. Travel company Expedia Group is making another round of cuts, this time hitting its technology staff. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports it could affect 10% of that team. Seattle-based employees shared news of the layoffs on LinkedIn. A spokesperson said the company is reorganizing and reducing layers to speed up decision-making. The company went through 2 rounds of layoffs last year. They have more than 3,000 Seattle-based employees.
A teenager in Snohomish County has died from influenza. This is the county's first child flu death this season. County reports a total of 10 deaths and over 220 hospitalizations tied to the virus. Statewide, the number of flu-related deaths has climbed to 59. Federal Reserve says it is holding steady on interest rates. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
After 3 cuts last year,
the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says that's because inflation remains above target at 2.8%, leading them to wait for further signs before cutting rates again.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. Check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show has our update. Nothing much out of the ordinary at this point. Heading through Seattle, North 5, you're dealing with scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. You'll catch a nice little break there through the downtown core. 25 minutes to clear this, and once you get over the Ship Canal Bridge, it's wide open all the way into Everett. Speaking of Everett, eastbound 526 is packed, leaving the Boeing factory over to I-5. It's our daily backup due to the afternoon shift change of Boeing. Bellevue to Everett, 40 minutes. Volumes picking up through Kirkland and Bothell. South 5 in Seattle is heavy at the Ship Canal Bridge down to I-90. Over in Renton, North 405, heavy volumes through the S-curves. Renton to Bellevue just under 20 minutes. And the Port Townsend-Coupeville ferry route has a couple low tide cancellations this afternoon. Coming up, the 3:30 departure from Port Townsend and the 4:15 out of Coupeville. Alternate routes include the Edmonds-Kingston and your Mukilteo-Clinton. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, is January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discount tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Rain today, and rain continues through the rest of the week. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. A while back, I want to say this would have been last year at some point, Starbucks hired a new chairman, Brian Nickel. It brought him over from Chipotle.
Where he had made big successes, big money.
He was a big star.
Turned that company around.
Yes, yeah, big time. I think he raised their stock value by 800%.
I think that's right.
Listen, if you're in the corporate suite of a company like Starbucks, you see a guy like that around there, that's a superstar.
Yeah.
You want that guy in your business.
I bet you pay whatever it takes to get him in.
As fast as you can.
This guy makes a difference between staying in business or going out of business, a guy of that caliber.
It's crazy you think about Starbucks hurting that badly, that they would be in this situation where, all right, we got to turn things around.
Right, a global brand.
But it really, they needed help. And this guy comes in, and now they're saying that Starbucks is increasing everything. They say their sales, U.S. sales, same-store sales, year over year, they're up 4%, a 3% increase in transactions, a 1% increase in spending per visit, which again, for, you think 1% spending per visit increase doesn't sound like a ton of money, but they have 10,000 stores in the United States.
Right.
That adds up.
Big time.
Big time. Let's see here. They are doing well stock-wise, blah, blah, blah. All this jumped 6%. So if you have Starbucks stock, good for you.
But the numbers they want to know are are the people coming through the door.
Yeah,
are they seeing an increase there?
So they shut down a bunch of stores.
Mm-hmm.
They closed a bunch of them.
Cut the fat.
Here locally, the one that I used to stop at when I would get, a Starbucks, they cut it right up the street.
Just up the street from us.
Just up the street. They decided that was no good. There was another, was it the Reserve Roaster? Did they shut that one down?
There was one of their high-end experiential type lounge restaurant or coffee shop. I'm looking for the right word here for Starbucks.
Yep.
Yes, that's gone. But it was the grab and go, the drive-thrus were the ones. They got away from their call ahead, pick it up, hit it and get it locations. And they wanted to go back to more of a, hey, this is where you hang out and have coffee, meet your friends, talk to people, get on your laptop, free Wi-Fi, sit in a comfy chair, have a couple of them, ceramic cups.
Would you like a ceramic mug?
Yes.
And that works. Apparently, people like it.
That's what built their reputation and their brand.
Yeah.
Was the experience of having a Starbucks coffee in a Starbucks coffee shop. And they just saw money, 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 location, 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 volume, volume, volume. And they found that the quality and the experience mattered. And people, if it's just dashing in and get coffee, I can do that anywhere.
Isn't that amazing?
Go figure.
Quality and experience people like. They're willing to pay for it.
So they brought in Nichols, who made these changes, who let people go, who closed down locations, who returned to the dance with what brung you is the old axiom, right?
Sure.
He returned to the business model that got them where they are. And in this last quarter, fourth quarter, they saw a 4% increase in traffic into their stores.
What percentage of their staff did they let go? Was it like 5% of their staff in stores? Was that about right?
I'm not sure. I have to look that one up. I don't want to misquote. I trust your memory on that.
Somewhere around there.
When you close the amount of stores that they closed, yeah, probably about right.
Speaking of an employee who is no longer at the company, did you see this story? I saw this on the news break yesterday.
There's the lawsuit story of the former employee.
The lawsuit. A former employee claims a wrongful termination and sex discrimination allegations against Starbucks, but she's also claiming that they fired her because she was a whistleblower.
That's what she's saying.
For a product that she said had maggots in it. Did you see this?
Yeah, that was the milk containment distribution system that they had at a particular store.
Yeah, in the milk dispenser.
Yeah, milk dispenser had
maggots.
Hadn't been cleaned.
Gross.
Was being used.
Now, those are just claims.
Claims, yeah.
Starbucks is claiming that that's not what happened. They say safety is a top priority for Starbucks, and these claims are entirely without merit. That's what a company spokesperson said.
Well, it's going to court. He said, she said.
It's tough because anytime you have a former employee, there's always that factor where you go like, all right, former employee.
Disgruntled former employee.
Yeah. Are they just saying this to get a payday? We don't know. The lawsuit's going to figure that out. But I will say, I worked at a coffee shop for a number of years. I never saw maggots in any of the milk stuff. I mean,
but I never had a milk distributor or whatever dispenser like they have.
Oh, that's
They're
true.
talking about volume.
Yeah, back
They're
in the
talking about
day,
a big machine where you just load. You load the sacks in. You ever see if you go through a McDonald's, sometimes you'll see them putting in fresh orange juice in their machine. They get this huge plastic bag full of orange juice that they just pop into the machine. When the last one runs dry, they pop in the new one.
Yeah,
and it just
soda pop same way,
and it just machine keeps rolling. The train keeps rolling through. And Starbucks is probably the same way. How often do they shut down the entirety of the store to deep clean these machines that run day in, day out?
Here's what I can tell you as a former coffee employee. And we didn't have the machines they have now, the modern machines, they're literally just like hitting a button and it's giving you what you want.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I worked in coffee, you actually had to make the drink.
Yes.
You had to go and, do the puck and tamp it down.
You had to grind the beans. You had to tamp the,
You had to know how to do everything.
Yes.
So there wasn't as many big, standing
assembly line coffee
appliances like this.
Yes.
But we did have, at Tully's, they did have like a shake machine.
Okay.
So like it was a soft serve.
For blended drinks?
For blended things, for ice cream, things like that, which would kind of be in the same category. That thing we cleaned every single night. It was required that we clean it.
Sure, you break it down, you pull the mixer thing. Yeah,
it's
I've
the
been
biggest
there.
pain. Yep. So I imagine they do the same thing here, unless they're just completely neglecting that and not cleaning it.
That's what her allegation is.
And the amount of volume that they're putting through, like you mentioned, it's a volume game for them. The amount of milk you're putting through these things. When would a maggot even have time to get there?
Right, you're talking about some filth that takes time to fester.
Yeah.
And sprout.
I mean, everybody's left an old piece of fruit out, and you go, "Oh, is that a little bug in there?" Like after a week or something,
it turns to fruit flies first, and then they lay. We don't want to go down that train because I'm going to eat later today. I don't want to think about this.
But Starbucks, I mean, we've all been into a Starbucks. They're churning stuff out.
It's quite an allegation to make against a company. When you say that I was fired because I reported this
because of maggots.
Yeah,
but it's a headline grabber, and
sure
we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, to just fabricate it out of whole cloth. This allegation that the machine was so bad, and when I blew the whistle, they fired me for that. And they.
What do you get when you go to Starbucks, aside from maggots?
Cold brew.
Cold brew.
Yeah, nitro if they have it. I love that stuff.
Do you get nitro? The cream? Everybody's doing the cream now.
Nitro with a little cream in it.
Well, the
sweet cream.
The cold foam.
The cold foam.
The cold foam.
I haven't tried. I haven't cold foam yet.
That?
No. What's the step? What's the story? What am I missing?
It's like
This is not an official commercial.
No,
we're not getting free coffee.
To me, it's like
like a whipped cream.
No.
It's like
close to a whipped cream.
What's the milk? What's the milk? The sweet milk that they have in the cans.
Condensed.
Oh, condensed milk.
It's almost like a condensed milk.
Okay.
Isn't that right? Like feels like a condensed milk.
That's what. I think that's what they put in when I get it.
Very tasty.
They do a pumpkin like sweet cream during that time of year.
Yeah.
Matcha, lavender. They have the protein one now too. Have you guys seen that?
Protein. No.
Protein cold foam. Yeah, it's supposed to give you a protein boost.
Is it just milk? I mean, milk has protein. Is that?
I think it's milk with protein powder in it.
Okay. Well. Hey,
sorry. Instant reaction.
To each their own. Never deny another man his 12-step order at you get behind somebody at Starbucks and you hear the half skinny decaf, 2-pump, half pump, boom, blah, blue, with this company. Oh my Lord, how do they get that right? How do they ever get that right?
There's a whole process again back in my coffee making days, but they teach you how to order that in your head so you can hear it instantly and you can know what they want, and you never forget it. I mean, I've forgotten it now because it's been a long time, but There's a whole process.
There's
you start
a training mechanism.
And it's all about I don't know if they do this anymore because, again, it's all like machines now. But I was doing this back in the day before we had machines. And you would have to say is it iced or hot? So you always say ice first because that's going to tell you what kind of cup to grab.
Sure,
and then you move your way down from there.
You order it in sequence.
I mean, it's not rocket science. It's coffee.
No, it's repetitive.
Very easy.
Yeah. Rote memorization.
And if you're good at it, you can make money, which is what Starbucks is doing. Good for them. Okay, we got a lot more coming up. We got tons of text messages today. A lot of them about traffic, a lot of stuff. So we're going to get to some of those next. Stick around.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way
to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
Draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS. DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
All right, welcome back to the show. Lots of text messages on lots of things. So let's read them. Laura, fire away.
On the Millionaires Tax, Peggy and Olympia says, if I'm ever a millionaire, I'm more than happy to pay 50 or 60% of my money in taxes. Nobody needs that much money.
Peggy, liar.
Peggy's after my own heart.
She's a liar. You're a liar. She's a liar. You're both liars.
She's a good person.
She's not a good person. What are you talking about, good person? It's got nothing to do with it. You wouldn't give, if you had $1 million, you'd give 60% away? You'd be left with $400,000. You think that's a good idea?
If I had enough, I wouldn't need too much. I think that's what Peggy is saying.
That's not what Peggy's saying. She said if she had $1 million.
She has. Well, to her, 400,000 is enough.
Oh my gosh, Peggy, why would you give your
money? If you had 10 million, would you give 6 million away? Would 4 million be enough?
No. See, to who? Who am I giving it to?
The people who help the needy, pave our roads.
Who?
Our government.
Our government, who helps the needy and paves our roads, and they're so good at it.
Send the police when we call, fire department when needed.
Now, would I give that money?
Teach our kids.
Here's the thing.
Clean our air, clean our water. I could do this all day.
Back to Laura saying good person. Would I give that money away charitably? Yes. Would I give it to the government? Hell no.
What if the government was more efficient?
Waste of your money.
What if they did a great job managing our resources?
I fundamentally reject the premise of that statement because it's impossible. They're horrible at it. It's designed that they're horrible at it. There's no accountability. These people are complete idiots. Not idiots. I'm sorry, wife. I shouldn't say that. She's going to text me.
She taught you nothing.
They cannot handle money. It's a language they don't speak. It would be so much smarter to give your money to a good charity than to give it to the government, who then has 15 layers of bureaucracy between you and the person you're actually wanting to help. So Peggy, save your money. And I'm glad you're never going to be a millionaire if you're going to make choices like that.
Oh.
Laura, you just did one. Spike, you do yours now.
Market Bay, I love this. Please come back tomorrow. I want to do this again tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Mark in Maple Valley says, what does it matter? This is a one-party state. The Democrats do whatever they want to do. And they will get reelected as they know they will.
True. There's no accountability. Absolutely. There's no accountability.
Yeah, we need two good parties.
On our interview with WatchDot, Jacob in 253 says, I get paid by the hour, so I like sitting in traffic. I get paid to commute. That is pretty sweet,
We love you,
actually.
Jacob.
If you're a truck driver or something, you're working hourly.
Love them.
Maybe we need to approach this from another angle and get your pay started here from the time you leave your house. Would that make it better?
If you're paid for your commute, that's been proffered before. If you're paid for your commute, if you start the clock when you leave your house,
they'd have to make me an hourly employee. I wouldn't. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So I'm just stuck for no reason. I'm stuck for no reason.
I love this one. To WASDOT's argument that if they don't give us if they give us the southbound express lanes in the morning and something happens, there's no northern throughway for emergency vehicles on I-5 northbound.
That's what they kept saying.
206 says, how many bad crashes happen in two lanes when everybody's going 10 miles an hour?
That's a great point.
It's a great question.
Yes, great question.
Yeah.
Okay, RB in 360 says, these guys sound like those Australian twins that went viral, obnoxiously trying to speak at the same time.
I think that was a phone glitch. That wasn't both of them. That wasn't an echo.
Oh, here's I gotta read this one.
He's got a gun.
Devin in Iraq. Thank you, Devin, for your service. I assume you're over there serving our country. Devin in Iraq says, Jake, I think your wife is saying be nice to these guys.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Neither is she.
Thank you, Devin. All right, moving along.
On unpaid car tabs, John in Shoreline says the reason people are not paying their car tabs is because you can get away with not paying your car tabs.
Yeah.
Right. I want if they're going to talk about making these hefty fines for people who aren't paying their tabs and cheating the system and not paying the roads for the road maintenance that we need to make it a priority stop. Can't be a secondary. Remember when the seatbelt law was a secondary stop? They had to stop it for something bigger, and then they could hit you with a seatbelt fine as well.
Because they can't make the visually
right,
or they
right. So if not having current tabs is enough, I mean, if you're gonna find these people, make it enough to pull you over.
206 says, Jake, I'm a police officer in Kitsap County. I pull a lot of people over for expired tabs, but 99% of the time, I just issue corrective warnings. This gives the driver 21 days to update their registration of the vehicle or receive a citation in the mail. I'd rather that they pay their money to get up to date than to penalize them with a citation where they still have to get up to date. That's very nice.
It is, and a lot of people decide it's a financial decision.
Yeah,
they're
taking
not renew
a risk.
their tabs. Yes,
it's like driving in the toll lane.
In the toll lanes and riding dirty in the toll lanes.
Yep.
If you get caught once every 300 times, it pays for itself.
It's kind of worth it. Go for it, Spike.
206 says, why haven't pulled people over? They have the list. Send a fine after 45 days unregistered.
There you go.
On the 32-hour work week, Joey says 32-hour work week, we would only get 4 days of the Jake and Spike show.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Or are they saying that's a benefit?
Who knows? Did you see the 25 million, says 206? That's couch money to these people.
Nice. Here's the last one from Xavier. It says, who came up with the 40-hour work week? Why is that the perfect amount of hours? This is not gospel. We can adjust the economy to make 32 hours of work. That's how we got the 42-hour work week. It wasn't God. He asked a great question, so I looked it up real fast. It came about because Henry Ford decided to do a 40-hour work week, so everybody didn't go crazy at his plant.
Quality of life.
And before that, they were doing 16-hour days during the Industrial Revolution. Right. They said, that's not going to work.
Yep.
So that's how they got it there. 40 seems pretty reasonable to me. All right, John Curley's coming up next. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Does my voice sound pretty good?
Better than I thought it would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up, and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me. Like, get up, Dad.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
This week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to my friend Brock Heward. Brock, why did you call First Mark?
Brandy, it is so good to talk to you. It's been too long, and we made that call. And the only bummer is we waited too long. I know you hear from people that you talk to as well as I do to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. I just wish we would have done it earlier. You know, Brandy, the word that comes to my mind is a word I use on my sports show a lot, and that is connective tissue. It's important in team building. It's important to players in a locker room to be connected to others. And when it comes to insurance, it's so complicated. It's stressful, and you just don't even want to deal with it. And that's where the connective tissue of having a pro, having a broker, having a partner, and most of all, having a teammate like First Mark Insurance was the best connective tissue we could find.
Brock did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over, and I'll take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.